Please take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. Joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. Our friend Coop with us, aka Coop A. Fiasco.
Yeehaw! Welcome in. Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. I'm your host today, JL Garofalo, joined by my very good friend Coop. How you doing, Coop?
Phenomenal. How are you?
I love the lights, Coop. I've looked at you for probably the last 10 minutes, and I did not once notice the lights until right
Just
before
this
the show
moment.
started. Yeah.
They're very festive holiday lights.
Are you plugged into something?
What's that?
Are you plugged into something?
Yeah, plugged into NFL news and notes. So I'm ready to bring the heat.
Plugged in, I get it. Look at that. Look at that. Hope you don't have epilepsy.
Warning.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There will be lights and moving pictures.
Good morning,
Good
Tommy.
morning. We got Tommy in the chat. Said morning, boys. It's Coop and the. It's the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. It's not Coop and the Hog.
We weren't gonna go Coop and the Hogs on anybody here.
No one was planning on that today, right? We were all. No one was happy that it was going to be Coop and the Hogs or anything.
What?
Well,
Cool.
welcome back, Simon.
Cool. I'm glad we're all on the same page here.
Yeah.
Hey,
Happy holidays.
All right.
Each
Yes.
and every one of us on the same page.
Just like the old days.
Guess I'll have to take a look at the show sheet now.
We just roll with no show sheet.
Now we're back on track. Simon, glad you could join us.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Coop. Tim, unfortunately, even though he comes on most Fridays, will not be joining us today. But I did get to see Tim in real life yesterday. Came on over, got to see him this week. So that was.
And what's the verdict?
Verdict: handsome and charming.
Wow. I
Once again.
knew it. I knew it.
That
Ani
little fucker.
Kupi was right.
It's like 29 years running. He's
Oh
got
my God.
that one.
It's
It's
just-
amazing. What a streak.
The streak
And-
is yet to be broken.
How does he smell?
Like lavender and leather.
Just
as
as
I
I
expected.
pictured in my dreams.
Yeah. It's exactly how I expected him to smell.
Yeah, it's pretty on point.
Him
He
and
looks
Gardner
exactly-
Minshew.
Lavender and leather is perfect. And that sounds like it would be like a multi-level marketing scheme company.
Lavender.
Lavender and leather. But
Lavender.
it sounds like the perfect. It sounds manly, but like a clean man, right?
A clean manly.
A man who's not afraid to smell like lavender
That's
is
right,
what that sounds like. We got Spooky in the chat. What's up, Spooky Season? Saying good morning, and
What
Albert
up,
in the
Spooky?
chat as well. Good morning, everyone.
Okay. And
Hey,
Albert, dude, the boys are out. The boys are in. The boys are here.
Boys are back.
Dogs are up.
Boys Dude,
Pretty
we played
good,
that song on repeat at my bachelor party to the point where it was, dude. At one point, they're just whispering, "The boys are back. The boys are back."
You guys played it so much, the Airbnb host was like, put it in the description, like you cannot play this song.
Yeah, we
For
played it
any
so much.
future guests.
We played it so much they kept our deposit.
Or emotional damage.
Emotional stress.
Yeah, it was an emotional cleaning fee, not just a cleaning fee, right
An
there.
emotional cleaning fee.
They they had to pay a professional emotional cleanup after that.
Yeah, extra therapy sessions.
Albert in here said Evan Ingram, baby. Last night, Joey texted me. And Joey's been all about the revenge games this year. And Joey messaged me and said, Evan Ingram stadium revenge game. How did I not see it coming?
Stadium
He
revenge.
should have. And Ingram, right after the game ended, tweeted, "Good night, New York. Jags win." With the sunglass emoji.
Evan Ingram.
Mr.
Pulling out
Cool.
the hater shade.
We did it. Look, I'm not trying to say that I was right and everyone's wrong and everyone's stupid, but that's what I'm saying.
And he pulled out the shades. It's like he knows that Mr. Cool was on his side all night.
Do you think he's been looking at all my tweets but refuses to acknowledge them? I like to think so.
without a doubt. Without a doubt, he sees them. There's a picture of you on his nightstand.
Imagine we both lie in bed thinking about each other. Props true.
Somewhere out. You guys are just sitting there laying in bed.
Very musical this morning.
Yeah, sorry, I woke up feeling very singy this morning.
Evan Ingram in his like amazing mansion or apartment just leans over to his
mansion or apartment.
Beautiful girl, beautiful. I don't know where you live.
Nothing in between.
That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line.
Mansion or apartment, or
I mean,
dingy.
Yeah. And then he leans over to his beautiful girlfriend or significant other that I don't know about either, and he says, "Do you think he's looking up at the same stars that I am right now?"
And she's like, "No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Who the hell is Andrew Cooper?"
Yeah.
Coupe Fiasco, excuse me.
And then they shut off the lights in their houseboat and go to sleep.
Just another night on the water.
You guys ever stayed in? Just let the water rock us to sleep. Yeah, maybe that's what's next for Gardner Minshew, is a houseboat, but then also a fake body of water set up in the parking lot that he floats the houseboat.
How did we not go to houseboat yesterday? That seems so perfect.
Right?
He seems like a houseboat
kind of dude. Yeah,
he is. But he has one of the ones that has like a slide coming off the roof. Like, it's not nice, but it's fun.
Oh yeah, it's real dirty.
Yeah, like the slide's kind of gross. One of the ones that like ends 4 feet above the water, so like it hurts a little bit every time you go off the end.
You can't stand up inside. You're like this the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. The bed has to fold up in order for you to use the kitchen. It's not a big houseboat.
No,
it's not a big houseboat.
No, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, and you got to be
home.
You got to be careful whenever you wake up not to hit the knobs on the oven and turn the oven on. But besides that, it's perfect.
Yeah, and if you get hungry in the middle of the night, you just pop those bagel bites right into the oven. Call it a day.
And you can even just leave it running while you're sleeping and reach in there and grab them. Keep the houseboat as well in the winter. Spooky in here saying, how about Zach Wilson? Career looks done before it even started. I'm sure we will talk a lot about Zach Wilson. Yeah. Guys, it is time for BYOB. Bring your own breakfast. We're bringing the news stories and the topics to talk about. You guys just got to bring your own breakfast, something to eat. And John Luke, did you bring a breakfast this morning?
I already ate my breakfast, but I do got my juice.
Woo woo!
Hey, it's a juice morning. Yeah, I didn't eat my breakfast in time, so I just had like a Nutrigram bar. Nice. I was running late today looking for my Christmas lights, but I found them.
There they are.
I found them.
They're pretty nice. That's a pretty good Christmas necklace.
Pretty Christmassy.
And they give him all the fantasy answers.
I actually had this extra set for Tim Wright, but he showed up where you are instead of here.
My God.
I thought he might show up here.
Oh, he took a wrong turn.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take a wrong turn at that one part, and all of a sudden you're in Atlanta instead of Massachusetts.
Hate what happens. What, I-95?
Yeah, you just go the wrong way on I-95 for a couple 100 miles, and all of a sudden,
next thing you know, you're doing the dirty bird with the boys.
Dirty bird with the boys.
I'm saying.
And within 20 minutes of being in Atlanta, that's what happens. It's just every single time.
How'd you know? Down there, like,
yeah, you just start doing the dirty bird in the streets of Atlanta.
Classic. Tale as old as time.
I think what Spooky brought up here is probably the first thing we need to talk about. Zach Wilson getting the start last night, maybe getting his job back. Know what I mean? He is their former first-round pick. Mike White coming in has looked great, but maybe this is the opportunity for Zach Wilson to show, okay, like, I just needed a humbling. I needed to get on the bench. Nope. That was one of the worst starting performances I've seen. End of sentence. No more qualifiers.
Yeah, I just love that he somehow found a way to start and then get demoted to from QB3 to QB4. Like, they throw a random fan in there and he'll get demoted to QB5. Like, what the hell? Chris Trevler looked kind of good, dude. Right?
I mean, Trevler, yeah, he was working it. He was working it.
The level.
I don't know how you can be expected to succeed, though, and after every single play, you're just getting booed by your own fan base. Like, how brutal. Those New York Jet fans were on one.
Right. And I said this to Scott Fish that, like, if you're not going to be good, you should at least be a good dude. That's the cheat code. right? That's the cheat code that gets you the second chance, like Geno Smith or Teddy Bridgewater or some of these guys. Like, if you're going to be bad and also be a jerk, then you don't get any sympathy. Jay Cutler went through plenty of spans where he was bad and his attitude was bad, and you end up at the bottom of the pile when you do that. So if you're going to play poorly, at least try and have a good attitude. And Zach Wilson demonstrated pretty early on and throughout this whole thing that he does not have a good attitude. So
I mean, how many 2-3 interception games do we remember Ryan Fitzpatrick having? You know what I mean? He comes in, the dude was the career backup. Send him everywhere. He'll be your bridge starter. He had a good attitude. He went in there, and I agree with you, Coop. You can be below average and still find jobs in this league.
Ryan Fitzpatrick was also a genius, which helps.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I like an underdog. I might be becoming a Zach Wilson fan here.
That's going too far underdog.
I don't know. Everybody's booing him last night. I'm just sitting there thinking like,
no.
Oh no.
He's not
I feel my allegiance sliding.
I don't know, man. He's not the underdog, man.
The underdog.
The underdog is rooting for like Ron Weasley to get the girl instead of Harry Potter. You're rooting for Draco Malfoy. Like, you're straight up rooting for the bad guy. That's way different than rooting for the underdog. You're rooting for the villain here. Maybe that's because I'm wearing.
Why is everyone on Harry Potter's side in this whole debate?
God, you know,
no one take into account the racist wizard.
Yeah. You know, Draco tried to be his friend in the very beginning, and Harry Potter just snubbed him.
Yeah, that's why I just root for a neutral observer like Trevor Lawrence. He's basically the Victor Crumb in this situation.
Victor Crumb,
just handsome, good at good at his sport. He stays out of his way.
Too dumb to really get into the mix.
It doesn't really get into the politics of it. You know? He just shows up and he plays
just
Quidditch.
There to play.
Pulls a quick Ronsky feint on somebody, puts him on the ground, and then he goes home. So.
I've never once identified like jock innocence, but like there is like a specific breed of like innocence that is like just like the playful, completely unaware, hyper athletic, hyper masculine dude that's just like, I'm here and I'm happy, and that's where it ends.
Yeah,
that's
most tight ends, dude. They're like they're like golden retriever. They're just like big 6'4", 260-pound golden retrievers.
And that kind of checks out with Trevor Lawrence, like what we've seen from Trevor Lawrence. Remember the whole storyline of the media being like, whenever he said he doesn't need a chip on his shoulder to play well, and the whole media was like trying to blow that up as like a big thing. He's like, no, I'm just good. I don't need like some sort of, I don't need to be like emotionally behind in order to be good. I can just be good.
That's the problem with being that guy though, is that like they dig for things to get you with. Like that one time he was like, after they won like 3 games in a row, he's like, I think our team's pretty good. And everybody's like, he said the team was good. Let's kill him.
They really were though.
They really did though. They were like, he said they were good after they won. What an idiot.
And then they lose a couple games. Everyone's like, not so good now, huh?
Exactly, bro. It's not, that's how hard it is to be a quarterback. You can't say anything, dude.
Yeah, what do you want him to say? Come out and say, yeah, I know we've won a couple games, but we're actually ass, and we're going to lose a lot more games this year, but bear with us.
We've gotten really lucky.
Can't celebrate.
That would be such a funny answer, JL, after like a 4-game winning streak, to be like, man, woo, luckiest team in the NFL, baby.
That's a Mike McDaniel response right there.
That's awesome. Albert said Jets playoff chances dropped to 7%. Yeah, I'd say they dropped even lower than that based on what I saw last night.
I saw
Zach Wilson had he had flashes of goodness. I don't know that his career is over, but man, he had some really bad throws last night. Just like really odd, like clear misses that he just shouldn't have. And it was raining, it was windy, so attribute some of that to that he's just not used to playing in that. But I do think he'll probably get a job at somewhere else. But it seems like this relationship is broken beyond repair. What do you guys think? Do you think Zach Wilson will be on a new team next year?
Well, first, I just want to address Albert's comment there. If the Jets have a 7% chance of making the playoffs, then the 3 of us have like a 4% chance of making the NFL playoffs.
As an NFL team, it's just the 3 of us.
The 3 of us, yeah. I think we have If the Jets are at 7, if the team I watched last night is at 7%, then we're at least at 3 or 4%.
Okay, Joe,
Somehow
you're
the
the
lights
entire
really
offense.
really convinced me here.
I'm the
Yeah,
defense, and
we
Coop, you're
take
the
it-
special teams.
We take it pretty serious. Yeah, I definitely look
Two
like a
special
special
teams.
team.
A 3-person team. We still just put Coop on the special teams.
I got it, dude. Special teams
Punt
important.
returns.
Special-
You're not
first
even
thing-
doing the punt returns. You're just doing the blocking.
just the blocking. Yeah. So they have,
You're one
they
of the
have-
guys in like the middle
they have-
range.
They have somebody else to handle the return stuff. I just do the fair catches.
We run in Ray McLeod.
But yeah, and so to what you're saying, Jill, I like guys like that. They get another chance. You know what I mean? Josh Rosen is now on his 7th NFL team. They're kind of people still kicking him around, and
He wasn't a second overall pick.
He was a second overall pick.
Rosen was not.
Rosen, yeah, but what was Zach Wilson? Like 4, 3, 4. So he was in there.
Zach Wilson was the second overall pick.
Josh Rosen was the second overall. Josh Rosen was the first overall pick.
No. Remember he got passed up, and then he was like, "Oh, there were 11 teams that made a mistake before me."
Oh, was it 11? Oh, it's 10. Yeah, close enough.
Something like
though.
that.
Yeah, but Josh Rosen has had multiple chances.
Yeah.
Like he's had multiple chances. So if you could be the 10th pick and play for 7 different teams like he has, then I think Zach Wilson will get a chance with another. If he moves on to another team, they'll get a chance right away. You know what I mean? Like those guys, you have to at least see if maybe the Jets messed it up. You know, so I don't think he's done getting chances just yet. You have to.
I remember being very surprised that they were so locked into Zach Wilson. It felt like there wasn't much discussion about that. Like it was just Zach Wilson's number 2, and now I'm hesitant to make a judgment yet because it's still early on in his career. But man, it's not looking good so far.
Not looking good. Somebody pointed out that one of the quarterbacks, I think it's Stetson, in the college. Who was a quarterback that's playing? He was a Heisman candidate. He's playing in the college playoff here. That dude is the same age as Josh Rosen.
Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett right now is the same age as Josh Rosen, and Josh Rosen's on his 7th NFL team.
That's wild.
7th NFL team.
He's
What
25.
year was Josh Rosen?
He was
2018.
2018 NFL draft was when he came out. The same year as Baker, Sam Darnold,
years.
Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson were all the first round picks that year.
both those dudes are 25 years old.
Crazy.
That's absurd.
Lamar Jackson went after Josh Rosen.
Yeah, that's wild,
Yeah.
dude.
And
Ouch.
Josh Allen, one pick before him. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, the first 2 quarterbacks off the board that year. Then we snuck a Josh Allen in there, and then
Patriot.
Josh Rosen.
Patriots passed on Lamar Jackson. I
Yeah, a
think
lot
about
of
that.
teams did.
A lot of
Think
teams
about
did,
that
yeah.
quite often.
Albert said Jets should have drafted Justin Fields. Yeah, I think maybe you're right because they have a great defense. Can you imagine Justin Fields on this Jets team? That'd be pretty exciting.
Be very exciting.
Well,
That would be a
Patriots,
playoff team if Justin Fields was on this Jets team. If they could unlock him the way that Chicago has this year.
Patriots had a good reason to pass on Lamar Jackson. They needed to get Sony Michel.
Right.
Very important.
They had to get some.
They had to get him. Very important pick.
I can't imagine where the Patriots franchise would be today had they drafted Lamar Jackson instead of Sony
Yeah,
Michel.
it's just so different. Like it's such a different type of player than they have
Yeah.
built around in the past. Like I have no doubt that Bill Belichick could have built a team around Lamar Jackson. It's just it would have been very different.
I mean, we saw worse Lamar Jackson play for the Patriots for a bit there. Cam Newton, and he had a bunch of rushing touchdowns, which was really cool. Lamar Jackson on the Patriots, based on what we saw from Cam Newton, where he had, what was it? He quietly had a ton of rushing touchdowns in the Pats, but if they had Lamar Jackson, he would probably lead the league in rushing. And that team would be so bored. That team would just be running QB designed runs every single play, which would be pretty cool. Yeah. Cam Newton had 12 rushing touchdowns that year in the Patriots. So Lamar Jackson would have 50, right?
At least. I think you're being conservative there.
Minimum.
It's kind of random, but I have a question for you guys.
Okay. I hope I have an answer.
I have Cam Newton in a dynasty league. It's a super flex dynasty league, industry, a bunch of analysts in there. And I have Cam Newton, and I am so scared to drop him. He just feels like not the type of player. Like it feels like he's going to sign somewhere at some point, and I'm just going to be like, dang, I wish I would have held him. Am I okay to drop him?
I think what it is the celebrations he does he would really rub it in your face the day he came back and scored. You know, like ripping the Superman thing and dabbing and giving the ball to a kid. Like you would, it's that. It's knowing that could happen is what prevents you from dropping him.
I think that's what it is.
I am actually still holding him in a 15-team league as well.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm also holding Gronk. That league is so deep that it's just like there's nobody on waivers. There aren't even kickers or defenses on waivers. That's how deep that league is. Matt's in that league. Matt Deutsch, Better Boss, he's in that one, and it is pretty serious, that league. But yeah, so
serious.
Speaking of narratives, we're talking about narrative street. I don't think we talked enough about this one because we talked about Mac Jones's quotes about Mike Leach, but there was another player that played for Mike Leach, and that was Gardner Minshew. And he spoke at his services, and he said, he really changed my life. He really changed what I thought was possible for myself. That's what Gardner Minshew had to say about Mike Leach, which is pretty powerful stuff. And then now, you know, in the wake of the unfortunate passing of Mike Leach, Gardner Minshew is going to get his first start. Do you think he's going to be thinking about his old coach when he's out there slinging the rock around?
Yeah, without a doubt. That speech, wild. It's Mike Leach clearly had an impact on Gardner Minshew, and that dude's going to be playing for Mike Leach this weekend without a doubt.
Yeah.
Narratives, man. It's those narratives. Where's Joey?
Spooky Season said Minshew mania, baby. Yeah, I'm getting more and more excited to start Gardner Minshew and watch Gardner Minshew football this weekend.
Minshew football.
I just like typed in Gardner Minshew on Google yesterday and clicked to images and was just like scrolling through pictures of like
it was like, are you sure? Are you in incognito mode?
Not safe for work. Yeah, you had to switch.
Safe search
off.
Because the results were empty with safe search on. If you type in Gardner Minshew, it says no results. There's not a single safe for work picture of that man.
I just picked without even looking, I can just picture what they are. Like there's definitely some picture of him doing like
grilling burgers,
doing taekwondo on like a beach as the sun goes down, like
on his prison bus,
1 foot in the air. Yeah, he's
on top of his prison
meditating
bus.
on top of his prison bus. Yeah,
the sunset behind him.
Yeah, it's like I can see even though I haven't seen the pictures, I can see it. And
every picture screams a game that you could play called Cult Leader or NFL Quarterback. You look at each picture and you're like, huh, is this a charismatic cult leader or an NFL quarterback?
It's like NFL Jared Leto or whatever his name
is. He's the first person that comes to mind and you think cult leader?
Yeah, very first, dude. Morbius. Okay. He's NFL Morbius.
I like it.
Who's the guy that plays the cult leader in Bad Times at the El Royale?
Oh.
Is it one of the Hemsworths?
Now I can't remember. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think it's a Hemsworth. But whenever I picture cult leader, that's who I picture every time. It's like the open shirt, like just like always walking like this everywhere they go. And
I think it's Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth? I thought it was a Hemsworth.
He's on my snowball team.
And you at JL, I was looking at the snowball teams again. Yours just looks like it should win. Whenever I'm looking at it, like I'm intimidated.
Yo,
it's because Jay turned off the safe search when getting the pictures.
Jay totally railroaded my team in that one, dude.
And you still won the poll.
Yeah, well, that's because I petitioned harder and I sent it to a bunch of group chats saying that they had to vote for me. But dude, he made like half my picture, half my image is Taylor Swift. Like she's the most prominent. It's like Taylor Swift is like 40% of the picture, and then 30% of it's Guy Fieri, and then my 3 biggest guys, like The Rock is just poking his head out from the back. Rock,
he's got to be in the back, otherwise he'll block everybody.
Meanwhile, yours is
simple picture mechanics, man.
Yours is all these buff dudes, and then he found the buffest picture of Kumail Nanjiani. It's just ridiculous. Yours, man. It's not fair.
And then for mine, every single one, you're like, who is that? Like, you're like,
so that was Keith's. Who's that woman?
I don't understand. Keith has to. That was Keith's first time getting in our draft with us, but he has to understand that it's going up on Twitter. Like, and you're trying to capture an audience to a certain degree. Nobody's like, oh yeah, I got to get this Gina Davis team.
Hey, maybe there's a Gina Davis contingency out there that we're unaware of. Like a Gina Davis Stan account.
The chat was on Keith's side.
Yeah, and then they didn't show up to vote. Says the person who tied Keith in the vote in that poll for last place. That's disrespectful to the 5 people on my team. How dare you? Also, there was one name that I cannot believe wasn't drafted during that draft that I meant to bring up. I'm disappointed in myself.
What was it?
We didn't draft Jack Black. That dude was
my
born
God.
for a snowball fight. None of us drafted Jack Black.
He would have fit perfectly on your team.
I know. He would have been perfect on my team. If we would have gone 6 rounds, he needed to be there.
If we got 6 rounds, there were a lot of guys who needed to be picked. The Twitter sphere was very upset that Will Ferrell did not get selected.
Yeah, they were upset.
Yeah. So, but
I think we can redeem ourselves in our soda brackets today.
Ooh.
Or just dig ourselves deeper.
Probably, dude. That's if it's half as controversial as the one singular Family Feud question we had about Gatorade, then this is going to be a real barn burner today.
One of you mentioned Gronk a little earlier, and we brought up Gronk in his tweet yesterday about being bored. And then we got why he was posting that yesterday. Do you guys see that?
No,
Yes.
what was it?
He's joining FanDuel. He's joining the FanDuel family, FanDuel TV. He went on Kay Adams yesterday and said it was talking about it. Kay Adams' new show, I think it's called Up and Adams, on FanDuel TV, and she was asking about it, and he's like, yeah, she's like, did any teams come calling? He was like, 2 teams called him and was like, hey, yeah, interested?
You on the Twitter?
Yeah, and then 30 minutes after he posted, Drew Rosenhaus texts him, is like, Gronk, you want me to start looking for you? I got you.
So does that mean that you and JJ get to hang out with Gronk?
I hope, man.
I'm gonna
we gotta cash in all our cards, push in all our chips.
I have Gronk's phone number now. It just like showed up in my phone last night.
Yeah,
as
that's how it
soon as he
works.
signed that deal.
Yeah,
Like, I was like, oh, cool. I can just I shot him a text real quick, picture of my shirtless body, and said, "What's up?"
it's just a shirtless picture of Kumail Nanjiani
with my head on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me, bro.
Gronk can't tell the difference. He's like, wow.
I just tell him it's my new NFT. This is the new Simon NFT. Free copy to you. That's how it works over text.
But you have to. I was gonna say, but you have to have Von Miller deliver the NFT.
Right. Yeah.
That's a little callback to yesterday. So
speak it into his belly button.
Don't worry about it. Not a big deal.
Albert said a team offered him the jersey number 69. I imagine that was a requirement for him coming back.
He was enticed.
I love that the Patriots hit the rookie Cole Strange picked number 69. So if you get a Cole Strange jersey, your jersey says Strange 69.
That's pretty awesome.
That's gonna be a hit among guys that wear jean shorts in the winter and just say like, my legs don't get cold.
I was thinking that might be the most popular jersey among men aged 18 to 23 in the New England area.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you go to a college campus on a Sunday in New England, you're going to see 400 Strange 69 jerseys.
No question, dude.
Everywhere. Because
they're all just like, hey, you get it.
It's not like normal. It's like strange.
Yeah.
Maybe you would even call it 70.
Close enough. I wanted to share. Did you guys see the story of the Patriots fan at the Raiders game that got berated? Simon, did you see that one?
No, I didn't see that.
So there was a Patriots fan. This video went viral of this woman who was just like, jail. She on drugs or what was going on with that lady?
I didn't even see the video. I just saw the harassment part of it.
The video is so bad. It's this Raiders fan. Apparently the entire game, this guy, Jerry Edmond, this African-American dude at his first game, his first ever NFL game, and he goes to the Raiders game in Las Vegas, and this woman is just in his face, like this far from his face, screaming in his face. And the clip was taken after the big play, the fumble recovery, whatever you want to call that play. I've tried to erase it from my mind, but after that play, she was just all in this guy, just like screaming at him, all in his face.
A Raiders fan?
It was a Raiders fan. Yeah, that was all in his face.
That's humiliating to do that after you won. Like after you lost, it's excusable, but like it's still embarrassing. That is humiliating.
To the point where somebody took a video of it, and dude, the thing was, this guy was pretty stoic. Like I would have not been able to hold my tongue the way this guy did. He just stood there and he was like, okay, you're like, enough. But like, I would have lost my mind. But so that video made the rounds to enough people, and eventually it made its way to the Patriots PR people, and Mr. Bob Kraft saw the video, and he reached out to Jerry Edmond and said, hey, why don't you come to the next Patriots home game as my guest of honor and sit up here in the box with me for a game?
That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, because Jerry kept his cool in the face of this horrible woman. He gets to go and hang out with Bob Kraft for the next game. So now he gets to have his first game got ruined, but his second game is going to be dope.
Oh my God, I'm watching the video now. It's so cringy. They're
so
like hugging,
cringy,
like
bro.
she's like hugging the guy who's like pulling her back.
Yeah, it is like disgusting. And that woman wouldn't be surprised if she wouldn't. Let's just say that if that dude was white, she probably wouldn't be doing it like that. That's the vibe I get from that video. It was just a really nasty thing to do to somebody.
I'm assuming alcohol was involved, but even so, it's amazing to me the regularity with which people forget that cell phones not only exist, but are in every single person's pocket and or hand at all times. And we all have cameras on them. Like if you start acting like an ass in front of all these people, it will be on the internet. Like it's not a if, it's a will. Like if there's a fight, if there's yelling, like it's nuts.
Dude, when I look at that video, no doubt that alcohol is involved. I wouldn't be surprised if like crack was involved. This woman is off the rails, off the reservation completely.
Yeah, that's crazy that he's getting to go to the game in the box with Bob.
I know. I wish somebody did that to me.
You know, we gave some advice on this show not too long ago, whenever it was the best way to fight. And we said, just don't. Here, this is what happens. Don't
sounds
fight.
Like Jerry was listening.
Don't fight. You get to go to the Patriots game and sit in the box with Bob Kraft.
That's how it works.
Guaranteed.
Every time.
Every time.
With last night's win, guys, the Jaguars are in a pretty good spot to make the playoffs. I saw a tweet last night from Albert Breer breaking it down for us. They're at 7-8 now. They got Houston next week. And then if they win that game in week 18 against the Titans to win the AFC South crown against the Titans in week 18. So all they have to do is beat Houston this week, take care of Houston. And then it's going to come down to a week 18 game to see who wins this division. I love a last game of the season division determining game.
The sweat.
So much fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I want the Jaguars to be in the playoffs so bad.
Me too.
Like that's all I was watching that game last night. I'm just like that's all I want. That's all I want for Christmas. I should have said that in my wish list video.
If the Jaguars win all their games and the Lions win all their games, 538 says they'll each have a 1% chance of making it to the Super Bowl. I'll take it. The Lions,
so you're
Jaguars.
telling me there's a chance.
Sprinkling some juice on that.
I'm gonna jump in there. I'm gonna jump in there and say and mark it so that all the other teams in their division lose all their games. And let's see if we can juice the odds as high as possible for the Kiddie Bowl.
Get it up to 3%.
Yeah.
For the
Albert in
Meow
here
Bowl.
saying Malik Willis is going to be starting the last 3 games. Yeah, it's likely. I think Ryan Tannehill is not expected to play the rest of the season. Last week I heard.
This Titans team just seems deflated. Like they just seem done. Like they're like, yeah, not going to happen this year. And they just kind of like phoned it in. They don't look like the team they did at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm trying to pull up, see what the odds for the Super Bowl, for the Jaguars Super Bowl are on FanDuel Sportsbook.
To win the whole thing?
Yeah.
Ooh, you want to sprinkle some on that?
Maybe.
Yeah, dude. Why don't we just skip that and just Simon, you said you got a new shredder?
Yeah.
This year? Why don't we just
Plus
take our money?
6,000.
Why don't we just take our money and put it in that? And
Plus 6,000.
that'll
The
be a
Lions
little-
have plus 5,500.
why don't we just take our money and put it in that? It'll be a little bit faster and easier.
Dolphins are plus 3,100.
Plus 31, dude. That's actually something I might take.
That's what I did this past week.
Hey, you did
What'd you take?
sprinkle a little on
What else?
Dolphins.
You took some Dolphins? Win or go to win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl?
To win the Super Bowl.
I like that. That's solid.
I got it at
ballsy.
plus 3,400. So
Yeah.
it's ticking up. Looking
So
good.
They must have moved the line after you bet it, right? They're like,
Must have,
oh,
yeah. Oh, God,
he's
big
on
money.
it. Yeah, we got to move this down here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Titans odds plummeted plus 12,000. Yowza. Vikings at plus 2,500. That sounds okay. Yeah, the Bills are gonna win.
We'll see.
What are the Bills at?
I'm
assuming they're still the favorite.
Yeah, plus 375.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's the best. That's the best you can get. I'm looking at MGM, Caesars, FanDuel, all of them, and plus 375. It looks like the best you can find. Eagles plus 500. Chiefs are also plus 500. 49ers plus 700. Bengals plus 800. Cowboys are plus 1,100. I kind of like the Cowboys. That's not a bad one. $100 to win 1,000 on the boys.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
On the Cowboys?
that's not bad, right? The boys,
Yeah.
they're a well-rounded foosball organization.
Yeah, but they like to goof when it matters.
I forgot
The
about
occasional
the
gaff as well.
I forgot about the
Occasional
goofing,
gaff.
and I forgot about the gaffing.
Yeah. Gotta take those into account.
Would you rather take Cowboys at plus 1,000 or Vikings at plus 2,500?
Cowboys plus 1,000.
Yeah, Cowboys. Kirk Cousins can't make it to the Super Bowl.
Kirk Cousins is
not be
a goof
ridiculous.
and a gaff. The Cowboys
Yeah.
like to goof and gaff. Kirk Cousins is a walking goof and gaff.
Yeah.
the Cow-
And Albert asking what are the Bengals odds here? Plus 750 on FanDuel Sportsbook.
Yeah, that seems to be the norm for them. And the Cowboys did obliterate the Vikings when they played. Right? What was the score of that game? Like 40-3.
Yeah, I remember.
It was
a
real bad.
huge win. Tommy said Raiders at plus 150,000.
So
You got this, Tommy. Go put some
that's
money on that.
that's a shredder bet. Yeah, the score was
39,000.
When the Cowboys went up to Minnesota to play in Minnesota, they won 40-3.
You could take the Falcons to win the Super Bowl at plus 85,000.
How are they still even alive? Oh, because of the division. Because they could win the division. That's so stupid. The Colts plus 200,000. You can put it with
I got the
$100.
Colts officially got eliminated yesterday with that Jaguars win.
Oh, they did. Yeah, there's a couple sports books that haven't taken their things down yet. But what, $100? What is that? $1,000 to win $1 million?
Like, oops, we didn't take the Colts down. Albert in here said if the season ended today, the Buccaneers would be hosting the Cowboys in the first round.
Yikes, that would be scary for the Cowboys.
God, yeah, to be the Cowboys and you're like, they're hosting.
Those guys. Some injury updates for this weekend, guys. Saints have ruled out Chris Olave. Jarvis Landry likely heading to IR. Kenny Pickett is out of the protocol, so he's likely to play on Saturday. I think Jeff Wilson is also expected to play this weekend.
He is, from what I'm seeing as well. That's the one that I'm most curious about. Like, what are you doing with Raheem Mostert with Jeff Wilson expected back? Are you still starting him over Jeff Wilson? Is Jeff Wilson back to being your main guy? Are you starting neither?
I don't know, man. Mostert's look so good, right? Like, kind of feel like they're going to find a way to get him touches. Just like Jerick McKinnon has just looked really good. And then they just, even with another back, they find ways to get him work. Like, you can't just go away from Raheem Mostert after the game he had last week against the Bills, right? It was great.
Yeah, he did look good. I'm with you.
What do you think, JL? Raheem Mostert, you still in, or Jeff Wilson kind of pours a little too much cold water on that sitch?
It pours a little bit of cold water on it, but Raheem Mostert, I think, is still the start, especially if Jeff Wilson dealing with this injury. I believe it's a hip injury, something that can linger on. I don't think he's all of a sudden healed and better. He's probably just good enough to come back. And so I could see them limiting him. I'm fine starting Raheem Mostert in this game. The Vegas is expecting it to be high scoring. Over-unders set at 50. Should be a good game. I'm hoping this is a good game.
Yeah, I think it will be.
We'll see.
I saw a fun quote from so I saw that I forget why this came across my screen here, but it was from the 70s. Denver RB Floyd Little, they had this quote about Dick Butkus, right? Listen to this. He goes, "Dick Butkus hit me so hard that my body almost liquefied. Then he helps me up and says, 'You okay?' I said, yeah, of course. He says, well, if you're okay, then why are you in our huddle? And Floyd Little goes, he hit me so hard that I just got up and followed him back in the Bears huddle. And he had to turn me around and send me back.
That's so funny. It reminds me of the Amon Green. Who was he talking about? Urlacher, when he hit Brian Urlacher. And Urlacher gets up, was like, you hit the snot out of me.
That's awesome, dude. Hit the snot out of me. So Urlacher got the snot hit out of him by Amon Green, and he got juked out of his socks by Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You ever seen that clip?
He thinks about this later.
No snot, no socks. Brian Urlacher.
Yeah.
That's how he describes himself.
Just a no snot, no sock football boy.
100%.
That was, I don't know why that was so hard for me to say.
No football boy.
Tongue twister.
The story you just told though, Cooper, reminds me of like you see the videos of like the kids who just got woken up and they just start like going through the motions like without even realizing what's going on. Like a kid that's still buckled in, like you wake him up in the car and just like starts trying to climb out of the vehicle while still like fully strapped in and harnessed. Like you need to unbuckle. You need to unbuckle. You're in the wrong huddle.
Yeah, Floyd Little is still buckled to Dick Butkus on that one. I just love that he says that
the Butkus.
Yeah, I love that he said he hit me so hard my body almost liquefied. But but when he helps him up and says, "You okay?" He says, "Yeah, of course." Like just pretending like it doesn't hurt.
Totally fine. It's like when anybody, whenever they're falling asleep and their friends like, "Hey, you're falling asleep," like, no, I'm not.
Oh my!
Why does everyone lie about that?
I don't know. Simon's the worst. Simon is the biggest offender.
No, my wife is the worst. She falls asleep on the couch immediately. We just watched National Lampoon Christmas Vacation as a 4-part series over the course of this week, and like I had to watch, like if the movie's 90 minutes, I watched 130 minutes because all 4 days I looked over at some point and I was like, and we had to play How Long Has She Been Asleep the next day. Where I just scrolling back, I'm like,
seeking.
Do you remember this part? No, yeah, like that's my life. That's my life.
I've been there.
Yeah,
been there.
We watched Lord of the Rings over the course of 3 months.
Oh my god, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I saw something pretty interesting from Dawson Knox yesterday. Apparently on a show, he said apparently they told Coach McDermott or someone, "Hey, we can't actually enforce that snowball penalty. We just have to say that for them to stop."
Oh,
it was just to say
awesome.
to get them to calm down type of situation.
So they were just doing the parent move where you say things that you don't mean.
Yeah, which I was kind of thinking that in the moment of like, is that a rule in the rule book? Like, can they do that? Can they just add a rule? Or have they accounted for this in the rule book for snowballs being thrown at a team at a home stadium?
They should have
my mind just started going.
They should have never made it. They should have never admitted that they can't do that though, because now fans know.
Now it's done. Yeah.
Any fan that read that is like, "Hey, by the way, I know for a fact they can't call a penalty. Let's keep chucking it."
Yeah.
Wait, so that's official. That was a like an official statement. This is not a penalty going forward. That was a mistake for doing that.
No.
This is what Dawson Knox overheard.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that is what they told Sean McDermott. So yeah, it's not. Definitely not official. This is just hearsay from one of the players.
Dawson Knox about to get fined like $10,000.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But guys, if we learned anything this week, it's hearsay. You just believe it 100%. But in the sports world, we just believe it until proven false.
Is on.
That's right.
Dawson Knox has now started a rumor, and it is on whoever it's about to prove it wrong, even though there's no evidence in defense of it.
Yep. I mean, so far that policy's worked out pretty well for us. You know.
2 for 2.
We knew Nick Foles would be starting on Monday. Yeah. So it's on
you guys. I don't know what
the
the other one was, but there was at least 2.
There was another when we came up with that policy, and then that one ended up being right as well. So.
Oh no, that was Sammy Watkins.
If you see any rumors, no matter how off base, send them our way. Make a couple up if they're fun.
If they're juicy, yeah.
If they're juicy enough, yeah.
Don't come up with any boring rumors for us.
We'll believe them though. We'll believe the boring ones too, but.
As I heard a crazy story yesterday. Maybe you guys are aware of it. I was unaware of it, but do you know about the Chiefs super fan, Chief Zahala? Do you know about this guy? He wears a wolf costume to every single Chiefs game and hasn't missed a home or away game in 7 years and is a bit of like a celebrity in Kansas City. He's known for being at every game. People take pictures with him. He's got this big social media following. Well, people started getting like concerned he didn't show up to the game against Houston. And And people were like, where is he? Where is he? And so they started doing some digging. Turns out he was arrested for bank robbery. And he was a career criminal who, on the way to away games, was robbing banks to pay for his tickets and for his like, super fandom.
Are you serious?
Yes, look it
up. Is he in The Incredibles?
So I've seen this guy before.
Or Minion movie?
I've seen this guy. I'm pulling up a picture of him, the guy with the wolf suit.
Yes, 100% the guy with the wolf suit.
Yeah, what a legend, man. This guy's a beast. When is the Netflix movie coming out? Or I need either a documentary or
I need a 30 for 30 on this. The guy, the super fan, and he did it to go to the game. People were always wondering, how can he afford the tickets? And there were like different theories about like his previous work, and he'd saved up a ton of money, and like that's how he did this. But turns out, no, he was just robbing banks on the way to away games.
What a legend, bro.
I just was like, I was watching a video and they're like, you'll never believe this story. And I was like, I'm sure I'll believe it. And then it was like, guy with a wolf mask has robbed banks on the way to away games to go to every game for 7 years.
Now,
that's crazy.
That's a true fan.
How do you guys feel about bank robbers? Because like, obviously we sit here, we're like, all right, murder's bad. You know what I mean? There's a number of crimes where like they're immediately bad. With bank robbers, I've got a take on bank robbers, but I want to hear what you guys take on them.
It's of the crimes bad. You should not rob a bank. Like, I'm just going to put that out there. There's something romantic about a bank robbery, I feel like, when it comes to crimes. Know what I mean? There's something like very like 1920s romantic about a bank robbery. I will say only if you don't hurt anybody in the process. Like, the sneakier the bank robbery, the more romantic it is.
Exactly.
A heist is what I'm after, if we're being honest.
I'll go as far as to say that, like, if you're also like pulling a gun and traumatizing people, even if you don't shoot them, if you're like really scaring like
100%
old ladies and stuff, then I don't like that. You know what I mean? But if you're just sliding a note, that's still kind of scary. But yeah, if you're
get in and out and nobody knows, then
if you
just did a pretty cool job, and
did
you
see
get compensated for it.
Did you see the one that they did in Brazil? The crazy one that happened in Brazil?
No,
dude, they bought a house next to the bank, and they set up a what was like a landscaping company, and then they proceeded to dig down into the ground and use a landscaping company as a cover for all the dirt they were bringing out, because it's like, trucks full of dirt. It's a landscaping company, so it's not that big a deal.
Just an office,
right? And they
like
dug
a normal office though, bringing out piles of dirt.
Right, piles of dirt from inside the house.
Inside yeah, but I don't know what kind of landscaping you're doing.
But nobody's really like watching them enough to be like, oh wait, the dirt's coming from inside. Like, it's just
they're wearing landscaper outfits. They probably know what they're doing.
You see the trucks full of dirt.
Just have overalls on.
And they dug all the way down under the bank, and then over and then up into the vault.
Over and up. What the heck does that mean?
Down, over, and then
up. Okay.
And they had this tunnel. They had this tunnel with like lights and like fans and all this stuff. And they took all the money down and out, and then just disappeared. A couple of them got caught. I think there's a Netflix thing on it. But so a lot.
What about their landscaping clients?
Dude, they're probably.
Yeah. What about their business? Did it go under?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Those are the real victims here.
The real bank robbery was the business we made along the way.
real victims were. Yeah, just imagine like they go through that whole process and then they realize they dug the wrong tunnel, but by the end of it, they have a thriving landscaping business. So it's like not that big a deal.
They don't even need the money. Yeah. You know what? Let's just keep doing this.
We got this figured out.
On their like about page on their site, it's like, yeah, we started out as bank robbers.
Yeah, and then somebody shows up and somebody sees the tunnel. They're just like, no. It's not what you think. We changed up. We're not doing that anymore.
We didn't do it.
We're not doing that anymore.
Can't get us because we didn't do it.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there thinking, like, the dedication as a fan. I'm not sure I've heard a more dedicated fan than the guy robbing banks to go to every away game. Like that.
I kind of think that he was just robbing banks, though. I don't know if it was like. Like, yeah, he was going to away games and going to these games, but I think he's just robbing banks.
Look, I'm not saying he did nothing wrong, but I'm a big football guy, so I tend to side with the football guys on that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not saying he did nothing wrong, but
he could have done worse stuff.
Tony in here, our producer Tony's saying apparently he donated a bunch to Mahomes' charity. Oh no.
Nice. Sequential.
Oh,
They got to go back and find the sequential bills.
Like they're gonna pull up the security
dirt.
footage, and there actually was an accomplice, and you're gonna see like an obviously Patrick Mahomes in the bank as well with him, like for the charity.
Like a mustache.
Exactly. And you just hear his voice like on the camera talking to the bank.
Can I take out 20
He's
bucks?
like, he's wearing a mask, but he's wearing a mask, and the woman's like, is that Kermit the Frog?
And he's like, no, I'm Patrick
I'm Patrick Mahomes.
Swindly Pat, and you'll
Mahomes
tell everyone
word.
I was here.
Chiefs a holler.
JT in the chat saying Titans needed to let Dobbs play. I guarantee he's better than Malik.
I don't think it's a
Ooh,
bad
wow.
take,
A
JT.
guarantee, though. A guarantee. It's a little early for guarantees, though, my boy. We haven't seen Malik play enough, I don't think.
No, but
And we knew that he needed some development. So
that's exactly what I was going to say. Better in the immediate. I think that's a fairly safe bet. Better as a player. I'm not sure I'm willing to crown him that.
Yeah.
But I do think it would be a better idea for the Titans to start Dobbs this weekend, just based on what we saw from Malik. I don't think the dude's ready.
For this week, yeah. But I think it's better for them to start Malik now. Get him those reps, get him that experience in the NFL. And then, next season, he's coming in. He's not as green.
But the playoffs, but the Super Bowl.
But the Super Bowl.
You think Malik Willis is going to take him to the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl. That'd be so dope if he did.
That would.
I'd cheer for him.
Rookie year. Oh, I want it now. Stop giving me things to root for, guys.
Jail just loves an underdog. That's
Give me
exactly. I knew the second we said it, you were going to be like, oh, crap. We have an underdog story here.
I'm in.
Once you made him an underdog. He's not, and I would say he's not a villain. So you're allowed to root for Malik.
Yeah, no, Malik Willis. He's too nice to be a villain.
There aren't too many villains, I feel. There are a few.
In the NFL?
Yeah.
Or just in general?
Aaron
Rodgers, potential villain. Chief Zahala, clearly villain.
The bank robber Chiefs fan, yeah.
The bank robber Chiefs fan.
He's on the villain side.
Obviously,
Mahomes.
Naturally a villain. Mahomes, potentially a villain. I've always felt like LaShawn McCoy was a bit of a villain. He was always getting himself in trouble. I think he punched a cop. You know what I mean? Like
Montez Burfict, definitely a villain.
Montez Burfict, absolutely a villain.
Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah, he had villain tendencies for sure.
Villainish.
Mason Rudolph.
Villain adjacent.
Oh, total villain.
Mason Rudolph, absolutely.
Total villain.
He's on that side.
Mason Rudolph is that villain that like they keep trying to steer you away from with like a red herring. And then it's like, oh no, it's like the least surprising twist at the end of the show. It's like, oh, Mason Rudolph was the villain the whole time.
Pac-Man Jones. Pac-Man Jones is a villain.
Mason Rudolph is Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb. It just never quite works. Like he's like a failed villain. Know what I mean? Like, man, could be a villain.
If only he could get the start.
Platypus
if only he was good enough to start.
Exactly.
Guys, never seen that show. Is that a good show?
It's a good show. Okay. It's a really good show. It's one that's like it's one of the kid shows that's worth watching. We'll throw it on in the background sometimes in my place. Cool. It's fun. And maybe the best theme song of any children's show. That theme song will just get you like bouncing up and down, dancing everywhere.
It's a banger.
It's a banger. It's coming up. We're going to preview these week 16 games we got coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And then we're going to play some fantasy feud. And then we have a sodas bracket to go through as well. And they'll be making some predictions about this weekend's game. Stick around here on Better Sports Network. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show.
My holiday wish list is for Travis Etienne to finish as the RB1 rest of season.
That injury's got to be nothing, and Josh Jacobs needs to be a top 3 running back down the stretch.
I need the Broncos to finish with a better record than the Raiders. Otherwise, I need to eat a tomato live on camera like it's an apple.
I want to win my home league. I've only won it once over the last, whatever it is, 6 or 7 years. And these are all of my buddies from high school and college. and they love to harass me when they beat me. Ooh, fantasy expert, you can't win our league.
For this holiday season, I'd like to be in the winning margin. I'd like to be on the winning side of side totals and props. I think that's really why we're in the business.
So Jamar Chase is coming back from the hip issue. Let's hope he performs like that wide receiver one and leads me to the championship. I need you, Jamar. Come on, let's go.
I am the sucker that still owns Russell Wilson in a 2QB league. Here's all I ask. And it's like a lot of Christmas wishes. It's kind of a long shot. You don't expect it. It wouldn't be something you wake up and say it's going to happen. But Russell Wilson, I only need like 80% of your career norm.
I need the Falcons to run the table so I can win my Arthur Smith as Coach of the Year bet, which is not looking amazing right now, but you never know.
Dallas Cowboy World Championship future cashes in 2023.
ETN is a guy that I really need to thrive here in the fantasy playoffs to win a couple of championships.
Need Zonovan Knight, even if Michael Carter's there, to be the beast running back that he can be for the remainder of the year for me to have any shot at winning a title this year.
I need Najee Harris to get healthy. I'm over-invested in Najee Harris.
As excited I am about my fantasy teams, I'm even more excited about the Dallas Cowboys right now.
I need Rachaad White to keep doing what he's doing and keep Leonard Fournette on the bench.
I hope it's Mahomes and Kelsey. Kelsey getting all the targets there. That's my wish.
Please allow me to win at least one of those big money leagues.
Well, my holiday wish is for Lamar Jackson to get healthy. I'm in first place in one of my fantasy leagues, and he's my quarterback. So without him, I could be in trouble.
I have a lot invested in the Philadelphia Eagles. I just need them not to rest my fantasy players week 17.
Yeah, my number one wish for fantasy football this year is that Ramondre Stevenson keeps being a dog out there.
Big money league I have that I absolutely want to win, so I need my guy CeeDee Lamb, and I'm a Niner fan.
Hey, oi, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. The holiday zoom in. I thought you were going to just keep on going, Coop. That's the face Coop makes when he sees Santa kissing. What's the song? Mommy kissing Santa Claus underneath the mistletoe last night. That's the face Coop makes when he loses his voice and we can't hear him.
That song feels super inappropriate, does not?
There's a lot of inappropriate Christmas songs. That one feels inappropriate, and then Baby It's Cold Outside.
Baby It's Cold Outside is pretty naughty.
Pretty bad. Yeah, you know what? I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus sounds really inappropriate until you realize what the song is really saying is,
I saw Zach Wilson kissing
I saw
mommy.
Zach Wilson sit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson kissed my mom.
And then as soon as you realize that, you're like, oh, of course.
But what were you going to say for all our young listeners out there?
Believe in the Christmas spirit, and Santa Claus is a miracle to everybody out there.
And if you're not Christian, happy holidays.
Happy holidays, 100%. Or if you don't use Santa Claus, Santa Claus, or anybody else that delivers presents, that works too.
Klaus, dude. That's my number one Christmas movie.
I still haven't watched it. I said I was going to watch it the other day, and then surprise, surprise, I didn't watch it. Didn't watch a single second.
Me and my wife watched part 1 of Klaus the other day.
first 5 minutes.
We actually made it through almost exactly half.
Part 1 of 30.
Yeah, I saw half of it. She saw 40% of it. So yeah, we've made it through half.
The amount of times I spend like 30 minutes to an hour deciding what to watch as I fall asleep, and then falling asleep before the opening credits are even over is like too high. Like I spend all this time like finding the perfect thing, and then I'm out before they even get to the theme song.
We've provided you a list of films to watch.
You think I'm gonna watch Shawshank Redemption while I'm falling asleep?
It's kind of a slow movie. It wouldn't be a bad one.
You probably would fall asleep. Yeah, you probably would fall asleep to that one.
You think I'm going to watch 300 while I fall asleep? As I've fallen asleep watching 300 on 4 separate occasions.
It takes a while for 300 to get going, so probably.
You know what? You guys are making me feel better. Squirrel Bob said you still haven't watched Shawshank. No, No, I have not.
Shame.
The only movie I've watched, I think, since we've talked about movies is The Holiday again. I don't know what's up with me and Jack Black movies, but maybe he's my favorite actor and I just haven't realized it yet.
He is an awesome actor. School of Rock is such a good movie.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm going to watch that before I watch any of the movies you guys told me to watch.
I
For
just
sure.
What's the best Blackjack movie?
Blackjack.
21 probably.
That was pretty good.
Or maybe or maybe what's the one about the girl who ran the
Ocean's 11
ring?
Oh, Molly's Game.
Molly's Game was the one I was thinking of.
I like
that was a pretty good movie.
I like Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder is a good movie.
Is that about Blackjack or about Jack Black?
Oh, we're doing Blackjack movies? Oh, that's right.
But you said
you said
Blackjack, so that's why we were naming.
We're just following your instructions, light man.
Very cool, guys. Very cool.
I love that you sat there for like a minute and a half while we named movies that Jack Black is not in. And you're like,
I thought about that. I was like, Jack Black's in 21.
I don't remember that.
Pretty
the dealer.
Forgettable role for him. Yeah.
I think
if we're going Blackjack movies, I pick Casino.
It's a good one. But for Jack Black, I'm going to go with The Holiday. I love that movie.
What is The Holiday?
It's the one with
Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, and she switches places.
It's a rom-com.
It's the best rom-com besides Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
And the actress from Bridget Jones? No.
Amanda Seyfried? No, that's the wrong actress.
No,
I'm really bad at actor and actress names.
Oh, what's her name? That's gonna drive me nuts.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't pick Nacho Libre.
It's a great movie, but I'm a man of taste and I love a good rom-com.
Kate Winslet, duh.
Jude Law.
That's it. Yeah, Kate Winslet, Jude Law, Jack Black, Cameron Diaz. It's a star-studded film, Coop. I can't believe you haven't seen it.
Let us know what your favorite Jack Black movie is, Chad. I want to know.
Critics gave that one a 51%.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Audience seemed to like it though. So
it's a fan favorite. It's a crowd favorite. Yeah. Guys, we have a whole lineup of NFL games this weekend. We get Saturday NFL and Sunday NFL once again. And I wanted to run through some of these games, just talk about what we're looking at, how we're feeling about all of these teams.
Sorry, I hate to derail this one more time here, but I'm just writing down the idea. We got to do a Jack Black bracket, right?
The Jack Blacket
with the Jack bracket. We could go multiple ways with that one.
Yeah.
Bracket.
The movies got to be on there. We have to have The Holiday, Nacho Libre, and School of Rock on there for sure, right?
And Tropic Thunder.
Jumanji, does that go on there?
That's got to go on there.
Animated movies, do they go on there?
No.
Kung Fu Panda.
Because that is essentially
no animated. You said.
I don't know. It just feels like that opens the door to a lot of things. But sure, if we feel strongly about it.
All right. Well, okay.
I don't feel that strongly about it. I just went with one way.
Well, then I would say that Orange County. He's in
what the heck is that?
You never heard of Orange County, dude? That movie's so funny.
Year One, Tenacious D.
I actually enjoyed. Oh, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny has to be on there. I actually enjoyed. Dude, you guys got to watch Orange County. That movie is funny.
Jack Black was in Anchorman. Oh, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Okay, he wasn't in the original one.
Oh no, that is the original one.
Oh,
that's the subtitle.
Why don't I remember him being in it?
I don't remember him being in Anchorman either. Cooper, you
freaked
remember
out
Jack Black in Anchorman?
He was not in Anchorman.
That's what Google says.
I saw the same thing, JL, and I just let it go. I was like, yeah, sure, he was in that.
Oh,
he was. He was in it, dude. He throws his dog over the bridge.
Oh yeah,
he's on the motorcycle. He's on the motorcycle.
Guy.
He's on the motorcycle,
That's
guy.
Right.
And
You're absolutely right.
He's like, now this is happening. That's Jack Black. Dude.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not a Jack Black movie. That's 5 seconds.
He's in a scene. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he can't.
We'll figure this out. High Fidelity. Next week we're doing the Jack
the last
Black.
one that's got to get on there. We got to get High Fidelity on there.
I got to watch a couple of these before we do that.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Oh, how the turntables turn!
I've never seen Nacho
I'm
Libre.
The only one who's seen a movie.
I feel like most people haven't seen most of the movies you've watched, Simon.
Have you seen Nacho Libre, Joe?
Never seen it.
I've seen Nacho Libre. Yeah.
Okay. How did you make it through that era of the 2000s without seeing Nacho Libre? That's incredible.
I was just
It is.
busy like going to parties and doing cool stuff.
Yeah, not I. I was not going to parties and doing cool stuff.
I'm sure you went to a couple.
Never been to a party in my life. Not once.
Nope.
Not once. Guys, the first game I wanted to talk about, we're going to start at the top. Saturday at 1 o'clock. We're kicking off the New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are 3.5-point favorites. It's a 47.5-point over under. I like this game for fantasy. I'm just looking at this game. It looks like the potential for a shootout. Kirk Cousins has been in quite a few of those this year. Neither defense is particularly alarming. I think we could see some pretty good fantasy numbers coming out of this game.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. This is like the one. It's going to be so windy and the weather's going to be terrible everywhere. And then this is the one like safe zone game.
Yeah, it definitely feels like just relief.
The dome, right? And it's supposed to be windy there, so. But in the dome, you're safe. You look around this slate, and there's so many games that are under 40-point over-unders or right around there. And even of the 10 games on Saturday, the Bengals-Patriots is like the one with the 5th highest over-under. It's at 41. So you really do need to stack up some of these games. You got to pick if you want to do Seattle Chiefs or if you want to do – what else is on Saturday? You got the Eagles.
The Seattle Seahawks, Coop, just so you know. The Chiefs are in Kansas City.
It's not the Seattle Chiefs.
Oh my God, you got me again.
The Indianapolis Chargers.
You did it again. Yeah. Okay. The Seattle Seahawks are playing the Kansas City Chiefs.
With the blinking lights.
The Seattle Seahawks are playing that. Of course, I end up being the serious one today. Yeah. Now, do you think
back on track, guys?
Yeah.
With his lights blinking and flashing everywhere. I'm imagining they're going to start singing any second now.
Yeah, looking like a goddamn Christmas tree.
There's only a handful of games that have high over-unders, is what I was trying to say there. So if you're doing your stacks for DFS, if you think everybody's going to be on the Chiefs, everybody's going to be starting Travis Kelce, you pivot to a game like this, And I like Hawkinson. I also like Daniel Bellinger. Daniel Bellinger quietly, when healthy, plays 90% of the snaps, caught 5 of 5 targets in 2 different games. It's just, he hurt his eye, he hurt his ribs, he's been banged up. But I think Bellinger this week is in a spot to smash. Definitely a DFS play, at least. I don't
know. To start Bellinger yesterday.
All right.
I forget over who, but I think it was the right call.
I mean, there's a bunch. I would start Bellinger over anybody in the 2 wind games.
David Njoku? You starting Bellinger over David Njoku?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Juwan Johnson?
For sure.
David Njoku. Are you starting Daniel Bellinger over me?
I got to root for the underdog here, so I'm going Bellinger.
Daniel Bellinger with one eye or David Njoku?
Sorry, Daniel Bellinger with one eye or David. I would think, David Njoku against the Saints, which is the second best defense versus the tight end in a goddamn tornado this week, where the winds are going to be a gosh dang tornado, where the winds are going to be 25 mile per hour sustained with gusts upward of 50, 60, 70 miles per hour, perhaps. Give me Daniel Bellinger with one eye.
I'm with you.
Coop, you want to be our meteorologist on our Sunday show?
Yeah, you want me to pop in, dude? I do the show before. I pop in with the lights just to. Yeah. You guys already have a meteorologist on the show. I watch the show.
We'll fire him for you.
Fire him, dude. I asked him a question.
He doesn't have lights.
Dude, I was the only person. You guys have a meteorologist on. I ask an actual weather question, and you guys just ignore it. What is that about? What is that? Like, this guy probably,
would have loved to answer.
He would have loved to answer my question about the rain shadow effect. But so I just not to get off topic here, but I realized I was wrong with how I described the rain shadow effect.
Well, now we're all just walking around thinking we understand why it rains in Seattle.
Understand how weather. Yeah.
Thanks
so
to Coop.
I described it as the water comes over, hits the mountains, and then dumps rain on the other side. That's not how it works. Seattle's on the west side of the mountains. So it goes ocean, Seattle, mountains. And what happens is the water warms up, it evaporates, comes in, and because the mountain goes up like this, and it gets cold towards the top of the mountain, the water can't make it over the mountain. The clouds can't make it over the mountain. So they just stop right there and just dump rain.
I'll be honest, I thought that's exactly what you described the last time.
Well, I said that I said that Seattle was on the other side of the mountain. But what happens on the other side of the mountain is actually the other side. It's a desert.
Yeah,
That's right.
See, I knew that Seattle is right on the water, so it couldn't have been on. There couldn't have been a mountain between the water and Seattle. So maybe I just ignored that part.
Yeah, so that's how that works, everybody. So if you wanted to have a game, a stadium where it doesn't rain, you put it on the other side of the mountains.
God, why didn't they think of that? Come on.
Maybe they will.
Desert stadium.
Dr. Microanalysis in the chat. What up, Ed? He said, "Wow, Coop shows Bellinger love." And shout out Ed.
Shout out Ed.
He's the one that put Bellinger on my radar way early on.
That's Maria's dad, right?
That's Maria's dad. Yeah.
Yeah, he's. I don't want to give anybody the crown, but it's either Dr. Microanalysis or Meat Mansion 69 that have the best names in the chat. it's one of those two. They might be on opposite ends of the spectrum, but I think those are my two favorite.
Meat Mansion
names.
69. Is that his job too?
Yeah, he's a meteorologist, a meteorologist.
Aha!
Oh,
I thought he was a butcher. I just assumed like he had his own little shop called the Meat Mansion, like with a local commercial, like "Come on down to the Meat Mansion." Just him screaming,
come on in. Oh man, the Meat Mansion watches. So we talk about bad movies. That's my buddy Drew, and nobody watches worse movies than him. He was just describing a movie he watched this week. Yeah, Simon, he puts you to shame. He was telling us about this movie called The Wrecker he just watched, which is basically the CIA goes and finds a construction worker and hires him to take out the bad guys. And his thing is that he uses like a big hammer to beat people up. Like legit 0 on Rotten Tomatoes movie.
Let's hammer this one out.
He said that the platform he watched it on said he was like the 112th person to ever watch it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Guys, we had a question come in here from Squirrel Bob. Squirrel Bob said PPR, Singletary, Juju, or Terry McLaurin need 2. So we got to bench one of those players. Coop, one of those players hitting the bench. Which one is it between Devin Singletary, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Terry McLaurin?
Singletary, Juju, and McLaurin. You can't bench Juju right now. Like Juju has kind of hit his stride. He's got last 2 weeks. It was like 9 receptions in both games, 10 to 11 targets. I mean, Juju's look good right now. I'm not going to bench him against Seattle. So Juju's going to be in for me, which means it's Singletary against McLaurin.
That's true.
McLaurin's got a tough matchup, man. I think I might start Singletary against the Bears. I don't know. Or Singletary's the safe play, but McLaurin's the upside play. JL, are you going the same way, or how do you feel about it?
No, I'm gonna go Juju, especially in full PPR. I'm gonna go Juju and Terry McLaurin on this one. I agree with you. Juju's the one that's really locked in. McLaurin, I don't think it's too far behind. San Francisco, their secondary, they're a fantastic defense, but their secondary is not elite. It's not amazing. So Devin Singletary, Chicago, the matchup is nice. 20-mile-an-hour wins in this game potentially, but they're using the other guys in this backfield as well. They're going to mix him in. So I'd rather go Terry McLaurin here.
What you mentioned, JL, is why I'm going Devin Singletary. The game script just favors Devin Singletary. With him probably not being able to throw the ball as much, pretty run-heavy game. The Bears are beatable on the ground. I think Josh Allen's going to have a good day on the ground, and I think Devin Singletary is going to have a good day on the ground, and maybe in the short passing game as well. So I'll take Singletary here.
JL, you have to ask yourself, does it feel like a Devin Singletary game?
Okay. Does it feel like a Devin Singletary game, JL? Does it feel like a Devin Singletary game? Gotta say, guys, my gut says no.
What?
Oh, I got that.
Maybe
caterpillars crawling all over me feeling, and that's when you know it's a Devin Singletary game.
Hell yeah, that's your Devin Singletary signal right there.
What if I told you Devin Singletary was
Caterpillar King?
What if I told you Devin Singletary was the underdog?
Oh, I'm switching, baby. Let's go, Devin Singletary.
Well, what was the last animal noise bet? You guys did one, but I forget who won or lost.
That's a good. Honestly, we're very bad at tracking them.
We're not good at that.
All right, McLaurin for Singletary, PPR.
Straight up,
we're gonna actually pay this one out.
100%.
If we remember,
it's Simon versus JL.
Coop says I'm sitting out.
Coop was in on it. Was a 2-1 last time.
Neutral observer.
It was me versus you two on the last one.
Okay,
I remember that. It was me versus the two
I
of
remember.
you.
I remember me and JL being right.
We were probably right.
I remember me being right.
Where do you write these down? Because you always pretend like you're writing something. When we do this.
That's a good question, honestly. I just went and looked at it. There's nothing in this notebook. I thought I was writing the whole time.
He looked down and there's just a ham drawing where he thought he was writing words.
There's just a score of Vinnie absolutely wrecking Coop in some game last Friday that I have here. Like I have a scoreboard. I have a scoreboard and it just says Vinnie and he has 9 or 10 points, and Coop with nothing.
Let me just check my notes. Let's see. It says here, Guy Fieri, meatball snowballs.
Meatball snowballs.
Ash Ketchum, 10-year-old quarterback. No, nothing here about any sort of bet. No.
I scrolled through my notes for this show sometimes, just the pieces of paper that I leave on my desk, and I'm just like, wonder what that was about. Like I got some weird words written down on this piece of paper, and I know they were applicable at some point.
Oh, Valentina hot sauce.
Top tier.
That's a note from you that I'm glad I remembered now.
Black Label, Valentina, the #1 hot sauce in the world out there.
It says
Adam in here commenting said, how about that little bit of Strevler action last night? Thought he looked good. I thought he looked better than Wilson. What do y'all think?
He did look better than Wilson yesterday. I'm not here saying he is better than Wilson, but he looked better. If you had me say which one of those two I wanted to start next, if I was a Jets fan, I would say Strevler. Something's up with Zach Wilson.
He was running the ball hard, man. 9 carries, 54. Truck stick that guy. Has me. It's only a matter of time till Yahoo will let you start him at tight end, right? That's how that works.
That is exactly how that works.
And Tommy said, I looked better than Wilson last night. Yeah, it was rough for Zach Wilson.
Yeah, but Tommy, you're also a handsome guy, so let's not sell you short.
And that's the #1 quality required for being a good quarterback.
Jimmy G keeps getting paid.
Yeah, millions.
So much
all that
money.
Subway money.
What game we were talking about? Minnesota.
What are we talking? I don't know what we were talking about. I think we were talking about
all the points here.
I think we were talking about the wrecker. Where
I don't even think we. I don't even think we picked a winner for this game before we moved off it. We were talking about our expectations for this game being a bit of a shootout, and liking it for fantasy. Coop was mentioning Daniel Bellinger as a player that he was cool starting, and the receiving options on both of these teams, I think, are slam dunk starts. Coop, you've called a couple Adam Thielen games this season. You feeling an Adam Thielen game in this one?
So this is not the right setup for Adam Thielen, unfortunately. So where Adam Thielen thrives is when a team has a high-end cornerback that can step to Justin Jefferson. That's where we've seen the Adam Thielen games, the Jeff Okudah games, both of them. When New England had Jack Jones on Justin Jefferson, which Jack Jones actually just took away Devontae Adams last week. I mean, the game didn't really work, but Jack Jones is a stud. But so that's where Adam Thielen usually pops up and says, "Hey, I'm still here." In this particular one, I'm not sure it's going to be a Thielen game. The wide receiver that I like best out of this game, especially in DFS, as crazy as it sounds, is obviously besides Justin Jefferson, but he's super expensive in DFS, is Darius Slayton. And I know we talked about it a little bit. We're in on Darius Slayton. I mentioned it yesterday. Our friend Jordan Vanek pulled some stats that suggest that the Vikings are bad against wide receivers that primarily play on the outside, split out wide. And Darius Slayton has the 4th most yards per route run of any wide receiver that plays on the outside. So it is kind of a slam dunk matchup for him. I told a bunch of people to start him over Zay Jones yesterday, and we're feeling pretty good about that so far. So,
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you starting Darius Slayton. I told a couple people yesterday during office hours to plug him in there. I think he's a fine play. He's not someone I'm forcing into lineups, but with the way that we expect this game to go, I'm not going to say the word somebody has to catch the ball, but what we've seen from Darius Slayton is that he's probably the preferred target on this team. And in a expected high-scoring game, potential shootout, I'll take the guy that seems like the preferred target.
Yeah, DJ Duvernay in the chat played Ingram last night. He was amazing. And we had Squirrel Bob started Evan Ingram in 2 teams last night that went off for 21.8 and 14.3 points. Telling you, dude, Evan Ingram, super duper mega star.
DJ also followed that up with played ETN too. Only thing else I could have asked for was a touchdown, but gave me the projection. Yeah, I started ETN in a bunch of leagues. I was going back and forth right before that game. Like, should I start him? Should I go a different route here? Go some of these other options? And I'm glad I did. 12 points is very solid in most PPR formats.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That'll be a RB2, and that's what we're hoping you'd be, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. You're not jumping over the moon with excitement, but you're like, cool, got it. Next.
Yeah.
It just
You
sets
need
you up.
the solid baseline of those players who give you that solid baseline, and then you can have the wild, Justin Jefferson games or crazy Darius Slayton games where he pops off.
I mean, if everybody on your team gets 12 points, you're probably going to win.
You're probably still going to win, yeah.
Potentially. Some of these weeks this year have been nuts. Well, yeah, 12 points. You start 11. That's a pretty good score.
Great score.
It's a great score. Great score, even.
Phenomenal.
We had another question in here from Squirrel Bob. He said 6 points for passing touchdowns. Gardner Minshew or Deshaun Watson? John Luke, who are you plugging into your lineup?
I'm gonna go Minshew here. I don't
Yeah.
think you can't start Deshaun Watson, especially not in this game where the wind is supposed to be insane. I'd rather go Gardner Minshew. That Eagles offense is good. It's very, very good.
We'll check in with us on Saturday morning. I'll be from 9 to 11. These fine young gentlemen will be from 11 to 1, and we'll give you an update on the weather. If the weather changes, basically, I need the weather to change where it's under 20-mile-an-hour winds, and I need the over-under for this game to go up to at least 35, 36. And then I start considering pass catchers or anybody from this game. The way it looks right now, no chance, brother.
I think we're still at 32. It was at 32 and a half, and I think it's back down to 32 now. It's the total for this Cleveland New Orleans game.
Right. Disgusting this game. I just don't even want to touch it.
As we get closer, like now we're another day closer, and the wind was projected to be 25 miles an hour. We're getting closer, and now it's projected, what I'm seeing, 27 mile per hour sustained winds. Dude, you cannot throw in that. That's ridiculous, bro.
I don't know what's like. I saw something 63 mile per hour gusts. I don't even know what that means. Like in my mind, that means you jump and it carries you 10 feet. like 63 mile per hour gusts sounds insane.
That means that like if you were in Cleveland and you lost your Frisbee on the roof, then you can probably feel pretty good about the odds of that coming down this week.
Okay, I'll let my cousins know about all the Frisbees they lost.
Let them know.
But it's probably not going to come down to the ground. It's probably just going to go to another roof on a different house.
Right. It'll come off the roof and go out into outer space.
Or directly into Lake Erie.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, that's gonna be
you look up in the sky in Cleveland with every gust, and all of a sudden 1,000 Frisbees just fly across the sky into
the
Lake
Great
Erie.
Migration. Nature's so beautiful.
Wow.
I thought they were hibernating this time of year.
Oh, the Frisbees woke up early.
It's like the
Where do they head
monarch
for the
butterfly.
winter? They'll reproduce and return to Cleveland in the warm summer months.
David Attenborough starts playing in your head.
Ooh, an endangered boomerang that we don't see often this time of year in this neck of the world.
The American disc flyer.
Ooh, yeah, how long can we keep that one going? DJ,
I could go forever.
That's about it, guys.
Yeah, I could do David Attenborough narrating disc golf, I think, for 3 hours.
I've listened to him talk so much. I think I could talk about anything.
He's a legend, man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm listening to fall asleep tonight is David Attenborough.
Oh, pro move. Every time I'm starting to feel the grips of a nap taking hold. Ooh, throw on some David
You know
Attenborough.
which one does it? The Obama narrated nature documentary on Netflix, because it's kind of trippy just hearing like Obama tell you about nature.
So comforting.
And you're just laying there and it's like this weird like comfort, but like, is that the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, teaching me about a gazelle?
I feel inspired and sleepy and safe.
This right here is the cheetah.
I started watching Trevor Noah's new comedy special yesterday, and I just reminded of how good his Obama impression is. Like, just top tier.
Strong.
I'm so jealous of people that can do good impressions. Like
Trevor Noah.
Right. Trevor Noah's is absolutely phenomenal. DJ and you said, just realize the Christmas lights fire. Look, my guy.
It's
kind of wild that like we haven't called that much attention to it.
These are non-denominational.
It's just kind of become normal.
Non-denominational holiday season lights. They're inclusive to everyone.
They could be Halloween lights for all we know.
Kwanzaa lights.
Do you guys like putting those shapes of lights on your tree?
No. Like who from Whoville Christmas Grinch lights?
The big ones, yeah.
My tree's
my
kind of classy. It's just all kind of white type, you know.
I don't like putting lights on the tree. I like having lights on the tree. I do not like putting lights on any
You're one
tree.
of those. I got you.
I have these lights like this on my bar cart downstairs with a clap on. The tree is 2 claps. The bar cart is 3 claps.
Nice.
Which my wife loves that. The fact that if you walk around the wrong part of the house, the bar cart starts flashing, and I'm like, oh, time for a beer.
Time for some whiskey.
That joke never gets old, right? Oh, the lights are on.
I was going to say something else about Christmas lights, then it entirely left. Squirrel Bob in here with a question for us. We were talking about this Browns game a little bit here. Browns Saints game that's also Saturday at 1 p.m. You wanted to know, so is Nick Chubb a smash play with the expected crazy weather? Coop, you smash playing Nick Chubb?
I wish he was a little healthier. He's been dealing with an ailment. They're saying he's going to play, but he's got like a foot injury. So not as smashable as you would normally think, but I mean, it's a good spot for him. And here's the thing is that just because it's windy doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be good conditions for running. Like the other team's going to stack the box too. They know you can't throw. So it could be a game where he gets like a ton of carries, but they aren't super efficient carries. You know what I mean?
Like 24 carries for 60 yards.
Yeah, it doesn't automatically mean it's going to be a good situation. It's a great point. Good.
The old Zach, he'll maybe do a little Zach Moss from last week, right?
Yeah, the numbers, the volume will surely be there, Squirrel Bob. And Nick Chubb's the kind of player that can break one off at any given time. So I'm starting Nick Chubb, but maybe don't expect this to just be like a number 1 running back on the week type of thing.
Right.
On the other side, are you excitedly starting Alvin Kamara? Because again, game script favors him. And then this Browns defense, even if they know they're able to stack the box, has been pretty abysmal against the run this season.
Yeah, it's a good spot for him. I was already starting him. You know, there's not enough good options to fade away from him. The real question is this a Taysom Hill game?
This is like the most okay I've been with starting Taysom Hill this season. I feel like when I'm getting questions and I'm considering Taysom Hill. It just seems like we could see him get quite a bit of rushing work this week if they're not going to be throwing the ball a ton. Maybe some of those short yardage passes as well. I feel all right about Taysom Hill. I'm not trying to force him into any lineups, but he's of the glob of tight ends. He's up there near the top this week.
Yeah, he goes ahead. This is the first time that he's fully healthy and Juwan Johnson's fully healthy, and I have him ranked ahead of Juwan Johnson. Like I've had Juwan ahead in most weeks because most of the formats I play are PPR, and I want the guys to catch passes. But in this particular week, when it's this windy, I actually have to take some Hill ahead of Juwan Johnson. It feels dirty.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I still think he's still that like back end tight end 2 level of tight end where I'm only throwing him in if I don't have a better option, which you likely do with that many spots.
Here's the problem with Taysom Hill. If you look at his last 6 games, right? He's got 1 game where he had 2.5 points, which is bad. He had 1 game where he had 1.12 points, which is really bad.
Huh.
He had another game where he had 0.1 points. Right. And then in the other game.
Is that good or bad? You didn't let me know for that.
Oh, that one is atrocious.
Oh, that's bad too. Shoot.
So that's 3 of his last 6 games. In the other games, he had 10.2 points, but in that game, he threw a long touchdown pass. There's not going to be long touchdown passes probably in this game, right? And then in another game, he had, 12.34 points, but he caught a 30-yard touchdown pass. This isn't the weather to catch touchdown passes. So you're really banking on him scoring a rushing touchdown at some point. If he doesn't score a rushing touchdown at some point, you could have another game where he gets you 2 points, and then you are smoked.
Yeah, the thing with Taysom Hill is it's just scary to start him in your fantasy football semifinals. I am nervous about plugging him in there, but it's the tight end position. Honestly, you're nervous about 90% of the guys you're plugging in there.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like I've said this before. Starting Taysom Hill is like playing Russian roulette. Like it's not about the games where he doesn't. It's not about the games where you survive. Like if you played Jeff Driscoll Russian roulette last week, the gun already went off. He scored like 2 points. Even if you played Taysom Hill last week and it worked, and if you play him this week and it works, if you play him in the championship, he could come out and have 0.1 points like he did a couple weeks ago, and then you're done. So you need guys that can string together multiple weeks, and I just don't trust Taysom Hill to do that. So I am not starting him because I'm not weird.
Just had to personally insult anybody who made that decision at the end of that. Like, great point. And you're weird if you disagree.
If you started Taysom Hill last week and you got away with it, and then you're pivoting to a real tight end this week, those are the true kings. Those are the real kings. The super
setting boundaries with Taysom Hill.
Here's what the real God kings, what they're doing. They have Taysom Hill on their bench so that no one can use him. So you don't fall victim to the 40-point Taysom Hill game, but you're also not using him because you're not crazy.
They just don't use him. He's just a permanent bench player, just taking him out of the game.
You're taking that randomness out of the
basically the government just like taking away any fun.
It's too strong.
Making it illegal. Like, nope, nobody can start him.
You're nerfing the league.
It's the way to do it. You got to take all those weirdos and quarantine them on your bench. Jeff Driscoll, Taysom Hill, and now Chris Trevler. Take them, hide them away. No one can have them.
Absolutely. Guys, if you're enjoying what we're doing over here, if you like hanging out with us bright and early in the mornings, you should head on over to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy and hit that subscribe button. It is the easiest way to show your support for what we're doing over here. And you can make sure you don't miss out on any of the stuff that we're putting out, any of our live shows, any of our shorts. Check them out. Go learn about Brock Purdy's balls and Jeff Driscoll's ass. You can do that on our YouTube channel. All the important topics.
It's a lot of smart stuff over there.
And
highlights from this show.
Yeah, Coop, I already said smart stuff.
Yeah,
like Brock Purdy's
balls. Yeah.
It's pretty smart over there. Guys, coming up, we are going to play some Fantasy Feud, and then we are doing the Sodas bracket, and then we'll be making some weekly predictions as well. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Join Corey Nando and friends presented by Mayo Media weekdays at 3 Eastern on Better Sports Network.
Brock Purdy card's already $85.
That was me who said that joint.
That was you?
Yeah, just Javon sent it to me, and I was shocked. So I shared it with the group, and I was like, "Why people spending their money on this trash? Like Brock Purdy cards going for $85? That's crazy."
Brock Purdy could be a Super Bowl.
This card is worth more than Justin Fields.
Hey, man. Whether we like it or not, quarterback cards are worth way too much money, and he's not. I mean, don't you remember Bailey Zappi's cards went nuts for like
the same thing as the Bailey Zappi, Brock Purdy. So if you got a Brock Purdy in some place at the bottom of your shoebox, you could turn that into a quick $100.
Like how many? What do you think the population is on a PSA 10 Brock Purdy card?
Oh, it's probably not
4
one because
who would send in the Brock Purdy cards?
Because what's out with this class, that gold standard is out in this class. That's really it.
Certified.
There's no Kenny Pickett Prism. There's no Malik Willis Select. It's just like contenders certified.
Don Russell certified.
Oh, Don Russell. Oh, Elite is out. That's right.
Certified. Chronicles Prestige. In his college uniform, though.
Yeah.
Immaculate Collegiate. Rookie card auto out of 99. $31. College uniform. These are all college uniform Brock Purdy's.
Where did he go to college at?
I don't know, somewhere red. It looks like USC. Did he go to USC?
No, he didn't go to USC.
Iowa State.
Iowa State. Shout out to my boy Trevor Ray.
Brock Purdy from Iowa State leading the 49ers to the Super Bowl is everything that I want out of my life.
Yeah. I want to see him try that.
Brock Purdy 2022 certified blue auto out of 75.
What uniform? College uniform or pro uniform?
This is his. This is training camp. Looks like he's got 49ers on. 49ers uniform. Let me show you the card. Number 8 out of 75.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think that bid is up to? It's got 40 bids on it. How much do you think it is?
40 bids on this. Got to be. What is it? About $90.
You, my friend, are off by a lot.
That's ridiculous. Oh, why couldn't I be dealt that hand?
Join Corey Nando and friends presented by Mayo Media weekdays at 3 Eastern on Better Sports Network.
Hey, oi, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. It's in the game.
Auto game.
Ow!
Ooh, clean. That was a clean one, dude.
That owl felt good.
Some of
That
our
one
best
came
work
from,
right there.
That was
well
strong.
within.
That's strong.
Ooh. I'm going to be riding that high all day. You guys ever do something and you just like, it was a
Nailed
small
it.
little thing, but like, you're just like, nailed it.
I nailed
and
it.
you like, you ride that high forever.
Think about it like every night for the next week.
I have a couple of those moments like where like it happened years ago and I'm just like, that was pretty freaking cool.
It's like I freaking nailed it.
That was pretty
No
freaking
one
cool.
remembers it.
Remember when you did that? Because you're the only one who does. But
Yeah.
you, or the opposite, the moments that you lay in bed. And
I gotta remember to tell people more about that.
or you think about the ones that just are humiliating. Oftentimes I think about my first day of class in college, the very first day. I have an 8 a.m. class, which, spoiler alert, I failed it because it's hard to get to an 8 a.m. your first semester of college. But I was on my way day one, like feeling good. Know what I mean? Like everything's going well. Like I'm going to kill it. It's the first day of college. Everything's going to go good. I'm carrying all my books in my hand instead of in my backpack. There's stairs right outside of my dorm. And immediately the first thing I do, I miss the first stair, throw my books comically in the air everywhere and fall flat on my face. Look around. No one saw. Not a single person. Scooped my books back up and went
That's a
along my
damn
way
shame.
like it didn't even happen.
That's a
The best would have been like if you got all the way to the top of the stairs, you got up there, and then some hot chick walked up and was just like,
boom.
By the way, I saw that. Man, this kid just fell
Are
down.
you okay?
Hey, by the way, this kid just fell down.
What's up, nerd? Walk much and then just
Opens the door
walks
of the
away.
hallway. Hey, everybody. This
She
guy
goes-
just fell.
She goes to give you daps and just headbutts you.
Right down the stairs, you tumble.
Right. Hate when that happens.
Guys, we're about to get into our game of Fantasy Feud. And joining us is our good friend, Vinnie Iyer. I don't know this every Friday. At this point, you should know who Vinnie is, but if you're joining us for the first time, Vinnie is an NFL and fantasy football writer over at the Sporting News and a host on Locked On Fantasy. Vinnie, thank you so much for joining us this Friday.
Good morning. How's it going? I'm getting ready for the big something going on this weekend. I don't know. Week 16, Christmas Eve.
I didn't
Christmas
notice.
Eve.
I know holidays, Saturday football, Sunday football. I don't know. There's something going on. 8 games with wind that's at least 150 miles per hour, I've heard.
150.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better now that we got Foxwood Vin in the house. Let's go,
Vin,
baby.
he owns
Let's
that casino
go.
now.
Let's go.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm still looking at some future Super Bowls. That's what I'm looking. Our future Super Bowl bets.
What do you like? We talked about a couple we liked earlier. Who
John
you
Luke
got?
just put one in on the Dolphins at
I'm
plus 3,400 last
into the
weekend.
49ers, but I want to have a little bit better Jimmy Garoppolo read if he's going to return to the playoffs. That's a little bit what I'm concerned about, but yeah.
You don't want to bet on them if Jimmy G is going to be back?
Only if Brock Purdy is going to be the
You
starter.
only
of
want
the
the-
offense.
Brock.
You want to
That
ride the
actually
Brock?
might come into play here because I want them at better odds too. So their odds are probably going to improve if Jimmy G coming. So that's something to think about. But yeah, I'm not sure now with the Jalen Hurts injury. It makes things a little bit
opens it up a bit.
unclear where I want to go here. And then you look at the Jaguars. I mean, yeah, some interest maybe. Are they going to make a Bengals-like run? Who knows?
Oh my God,
I
Vinny.
would lose
We are
it.
what we are cheering for here. We're trying to make it happen. Just speak it into existence. Is a Lions Jaguars Super Bowl, where those two teams just go on crazy runs in the playoffs. That Jaguars team, you know what? That's not a bad call out, Vinny. They're looking hot right now. They're getting hot at the right time. They've beat some good teams. Man, that would be fun to watch. And the path is getting clearer. Beat Houston this weekend, and then they just gotta take care of Tennessee in Week 18, and they're in.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I went to go buy a Jaguars jersey last night, and then I was like, "It's too close to Christmas. I can't. Like, I'll just wait till after Christmas to get it. It'll be deals or something." But I'm pretty close.
You
Pretty close to
getting
getting one.
you getting the Evan Ingram?
Lawrence.
Evan Ingram, yeah, Jaguars jersey.
Or
Zay
Travis
Jones,
Etienne.
actually. Or Zay Jones.
Zay Jones. Yeah, it's gonna be a Marvin Jones.
Jamichael Hasty.
I know you're gonna get one of the Clemson boys, but which one?
I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
tough. Vinny, who would
Probably
you pick?
Etienne.
Let's say you went to Clemson. Would you get Travis
Yeah.
Etienne or Trevor Lawrence?
I think I'm going Trevor. Sorry. I mean, I like Travis Etienne. I like the number 1, but I like Trevor Lawrence.
You
Jill,
also-
I think the reason you go Trevor is the longevity of the jersey.
I know.
Like that's the only thing, because there's a much higher chance that ETN's on a different team in 3 years than Trevor Lawrence is on a different team in 3 years.
Yeah.
So like if you want it to be
I like
accurate,
ETN more.
yeah, I'm with you. But I think like if you want the longevity of a player on the right team, then you grab the Lawrence one. If you don't care, grab the ETN one.
You got to treat it like dynasty to a certain degree. You know, get a jersey after a guy signs a new big 4-year deal, maybe, right? Or if it's your first jersey, maybe go for a retired legend. My first jersey was Ben Coates, and like he was already retired at that point. I know he wasn't, but still he was already a legend, and we kind of knew he was going to stay with the Patriots. But if you get a jersey of somebody who is retired, legend of the team, it's tough for that to get screwed up. You know, somebody has to come out and pull a Willie McGinnis for that jersey to not be cool anymore. So
most of the time, my jerseys are probably just going to be like not wearable in 3 years. So it's probably fine if I'm wearing it versus like collectible. But I see what you're saying.
Tears his jerseys up. He
I want to find out, where do you think all these lost like Texans Deshaun Watson #4 jerseys are?
Oh, I have one.
They were on pretty heavy sale in the NFL shop. There was a pretty big sale on those for a while there.
Can you imagine like a kid in Houston? He's opened up his Christmas gifts, and all of a sudden, he gets a clearance Deshaun Watson jersey.
His parents aren't really football fans. They just went for the deal.
Oh no! Yeah, I could 100% see that happen. They just go on NFL shop. They're trying their best.
It's also an inappropriate gift to give as a parent to a child.
100%. 100%.
We got Nick in the chat. Said,
Morning, Nick. Tommy asking, what did Willie do? Willie McGinnis recently was caught on video assault. It was an assault at a nightclub, and he hit a guy with a bottle. So he's charged with a felony. They're saying that he's saying there's more to the story, but I mean, just as a rule of thumb, we talked about this yesterday, or maybe it was today. I think it was today. When it comes to fights, the real secret cheat code is to
go for the knees.
It's to not get in them. Like, don't get involved.
Right.
And definitely don't pick up a weapon. So, Willie, in a bit of
unless they have a weapon.
They have a weapon.
In which case, pick up a weapon.
Run,
and then run.
Yeah, run.
Don't just run.
If you can run, that's the move for sure.
100%. Vinny, we brought you on here today to play some fantasy feud. You're an expert at this game at this point, but I'm going to let the people know in the chat, if they haven't played with us before, how this game's going to work. This game's a lot like the popular TV show Family Feud. How it's going to work is I'm going to give you a prompt, something along the lines of like the top 6 PPR running backs so far this season. If you think you know what the #1 answer is, you're going to say your name. Get the top answer. You will have the opportunity to pass or play. Choose to play it. You have 3 strikes to get all of the answers that are on that list. And if you do that, you're going to get all the points, but miss even one of them. Get 3 strikes, and your opponents will have an opportunity to steal. The order we're going to be operating in is Vinny, JL, Coop. Now, that doesn't mean that's the order it's going to go in, because whoever buzzes in, that's just the order in which they will be able to steal. Vinny, JL, Coop. So if Vinny is the one guessing, JL, you've got the first opportunity to steal. Coop, the second opportunity to steal, so on and so forth.
I will say, Vinny, I almost scheduled pole perception for the slot, and then I was like, you know what? It's the holidays. I can't do Vinny like that. This is Vinny. Vinny loves Fantasy Feud, so we got to do Fantasy Feud.
For those that don't,
or he just doesn't like pole perception.
I refuse to accept that.
I can't hear you, Vinny.
For those that don't know, Vinny was on Jeopardy and won. So that's why he kicks our ass in this game. I think it was me versus him one-on-one last time. And I think I lose like 8-0.
I think that was what this little tally score I have in my notebook is like 10-0, 9-0.
People were popping. Simon's mom was in the chat like, man, that was a whooping.
Yeah, she was like, wow, what a loser.
What an idiot. So I got to redeem myself today, but I'm feeling good about it.
Vinny, we can't hear you for some reason. I don't know what's going on over there.
Oh, we might have to reload here.
We can get that reloaded over there. Let's see if we can get that working.
Let me see if I can fix this.
Yeah, Coop, let me know if you can get that fixed over there.
You're just poking your own camera.
I'm trying to see if I can. Hold on here. Let me get my finger trap and see if I can tweak this a little bit. Vinny, try now.
Wrong finger trap, Coop. It was the wrong finger trap.
I'll have to get the I'll have to
Not
get the
sure what we're paying
left-handed.
you
I'll have to
for.
get the left-handed finger trap out of my toolkit, and we'll see if we can fix them. Now, did you say not sure what you're paying me for?
Yeah. That's you sit here with your lights on your head.
So stupid. All right. So yeah, I wasn't able to fix that, unfortunately.
Nick said Coops resorted to sabotage to win this game. 100%. Him and the producers in cahoots to make sure that he wins this game right here.
Right, dude. That's the thing is it's like Keith is out today, so I brought in it's like wrestling when you bring in the special guest referee, but he's secretly like a dude that's gonna come out and give you a stone cold stunner. That's what Tony is today. Producer Tony today. I slipped him a 50. I was like, hey, when Vinnie gets on, right when he's about to kick my ass in any sort of game,
just cut him off.
Cut
off
mic.
the access.
Cut his mic. All right, so let's play. Now that
get a head start without Vinnie.
Vinnie gets back on. We're like, all right, I'm up 10, JL has 7, and you have 0. Let's just resume the game.
And you would still lose. It would just be that.
I probably would still lose, dude. He's that good.
I don't know that I've won Feud. Maybe once.
You have. I remember.
It was on October 17th. And the question was about
Wednesday.
That's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday. And I was in Copenhagen.
Visiting the Grunevelds.
That's the wrong country, and that's the wrong country entirely.
Copenhagen.
Close enough.
There
were some. I'll tell you what. There were a lot of Grunevelds in Amsterdam, but there were a few in Copenhagen too.
There were a few. They found their way over there.
They found their way. Yeah, they rode slightly different bikes than the guys in Amsterdam, but it was very simple.
Did you ride a bike in Amsterdam?
I rode bikes everywhere, dude.
It can be terrifying in Amsterdam riding. Like everyone knows all the rules, and they go very fast and assume everyone knows all the rules.
I'll tell you right now, in Copenhagen, it's like the rules are very specific and they make a lot more sense, and it's like very organized and everything's set up. In Amsterdam, it's kind of the Wild West with the bikes.
Oh,
the bikes run the world. Yeah, you're right. People are wild. They're aggressive. So yeah, that was a tough. I had a lot more success in Copenhagen, but we rode bikes everywhere, every city.
Vinny, we got you back.
I think so. Can you hear me now?
We got it. Game time. I'm glad that didn't happen right as we started round one.
There's some windy conditions here in Charlotte, so I think it blew me away. And this is the first time I've seen the sun in several days.
Well, welcome, son.
Let me see if I can
cast
get
on your
him.
face.
You know, it's weird because the Lions had to leave early to get to Charlotte because of weather. You know, things are weird.
Yeah, you know it's gonna be a weird.
Usually,
weekend.
guys have good weather, and
Yeah.
you
It's
also
kind of fun. This
it
is
also
like
also
a
because
final boss fight.
Also because I reached over and unplugged this, I just yanked it out of your computer. But I'm surprised you were able to fix it in time. Yeah, I was trying to sabotage.
I think we can pick up the game. So if you want to dive right into it, you can.
Coop, they were trying to get me to start the game without you, Vinny. Go up 10-0 and see if you could come back, but you're back in time. And we're gonna
I assume that's what you were doing. So
we tried. We tried.
I was like,
we
going to chime in with the third answer on the board. Yeah,
just mad you humiliated him last week.
Okay,
we are going to jump straight into our first prompt. This first prompt is on a quiz asking you to name every NFL team. What were the 6 least guessed teams in this quiz? I heard Dale's name first.
Good, Vinny. Who was first?
Oh, it's me.
No, who was
buzzing it for me?
I swear.
Close,
I
heard
said
Dale a full second before.
I'm gonna record. I'm gonna go back and send you a clip of me saying it first, and then you're gonna.
You're gonna record the thing that's on YouTube forever.
I'm going back to YouTube, recording it on my phone from my laptop.
JL,
I'm gonna go with the Houston Texans.
The Houston Texans are not in the bottom 6, JL. The Houston Texans are 16th on the list, right in the middle. So if anyone else wants to buzz in, it's still open.
Oopsies, Coop.
Okay, Coop.
I'm gonna go with the
Coopsies.
Coopsie doodles. I'm gonna go with the Arizona Cardinals.
The Arizona Cardinals are not in the bottom 6, so they are in the bottom half down there, sitting at The 11th least guessed team in the league. So they're close, but no cigar.
The Texans?
Vinny, you want to take a shot?
Were they doing, just a clarification, were they doing nicknames or cities? Or
you could put either the nickname or the city.
Okay,
So
I'm going to go the Washington Commanders because I don't think anyone knows their.
Yeah.
So typing Washington would have gotten it for you, and they are 14th on this one.
Oh, boy.
So it's not on this. So I'm going to open it up one more time, one more round. If you guys want to. Okay, JL.
Carolina Panthers.
The Carolina Panthers are not, but they're very close. Yeah, they're 7th on this list.
Coop.
One outside.
Coop, get me in there.
Okay, Coop, what's up?
Okay, I'm going to go with the. Give me the.
So quick to say his name with no answer.
I had an answer for sure. I was just ready. I was prepared to say it. Give me the Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers are the least guessed team in the NFL. The very last team, 32 out of 32. Coop, do you want to pass or play this one?
I'm going to pass.
Okay, you are passing. And I said earlier the order was Vinny, JL, Coop, which means Vinny. You will be playing this one first.
All right.
It's been passed to you.
You're welcome, Vinny.
All right.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are off the board. We need 5 more. There are no strikes.
Okay. I'm going to go with the aforementioned Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are the 4th least guessed team on this quiz, Vinny. You got that absolutely correct.
All right. Another guess. I'm just going to guess. Tell me if you need me to be more specific, but I'm going to say Los Angeles.
I will need you to be more specific than Los Angeles.
Nice try, Vinny.
Sneaky.
Because I don't think anybody knows they're still playing NFL in Los Angeles at this stage. I'm going to say the Los Angeles Chargers.
The Los Angeles Chargers are not on this list. That's going to be 1 strike.
Okay. I'm going to go, based on game theory, I'm going to say Los Angeles Rams.
Los Angeles Rams are the 3rd least guessed team, Vinny. Nice pull right there. So
I
far,
two of like the last, 5 teams that have won the Super Bowl are last picked here.
Yeah.
Wild.
Because you know what it probably is here's what happens. A bunch of people that are typing in like cities and they type in Los Angeles and it gives them the Chargers. Is this Sporkle probably or something like that?
Yeah, this is from Sporkle.
So it automatically populates Chargers for you, and then they don't circle back to type Los Angeles again to get the Rams.
That checks out.
That's Sporkle theory right there.
Sporkle theory.
Okay, Vinny, we've got 3 of them off the board. You've gotten the Jaguars, the Rams, and the Bucks. There's 3 left.
Okay. And I'm going to say Atlanta Falcons. Nobody cares about them.
The Atlanta Falcons are not on this list. They are number 8 on this list of the least guessed team. So right outside, that is 2 strikes. 1 more strike, and it is going to go to your opponents to steal.
Okay, I'm going to go in a weird direction here, but I feel like people might forget this team only because they'll think about the other team first because this other team sucks. I'm going to say the New York Jets.
The New York Jets are not on this list right there. I am sorry. They are the 3rd most guessed team on this list, the New York Jets. So, Vinny, that is your 3rd strike, which means, JL, you're up first with an opportunity to steal. Get this, you're going to get 4 points. Get it wrong, Coop has the chance.
Tampa Bay, Rams, Jacksonville. There's a few teams I want to go with here. I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts.
The Indianapolis Colts, JL, are not on this list. I'm sorry. They are the 14th or 15th least guessed team. Coop, get this right. You get 4 points. Get it wrong. Vinny gets 3 points.
Coop, just go with whoever's won the latest Super Bowl.
I have two lines of thinking here. One, I'm like, do people not realize that the Raiders moved to Las Vegas? But I think I have one that is kind of a sneaky one that people forget, and it's also, I think the Buccaneers might be on there because it's difficult to spell. I'm gonna go with
that's a great point.
I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings are not
Oh,
Liz
I
Cooper,
do.
which means Vinny, you're taking the points for this one. The remaining teams that we did not guess, the Kansas City Chiefs were the second least guessed team.
See?
The Tennessee Titans on there.
Oh, the Titans.
Titans is on the list.
I had
Oh,
the Titans written down.
I was
The
either
Titans is going to make you mad too. They haven't won a Super Bowl recently, but they're sure trying. The Buffalo Bills are the other
I
team
almost
on
guessed
that
them
list.
because of the stupid logic. I was like, oh,
think
well,
this-
Buffalo. Nobody likes Buffalo, and they're good, and they talk about them all the time. So
This
they're probably on this list.
this list confirms that only nerds play Sporkle.
Or that this is aggregate data from years and years of this quiz existing, and Kansas City and Buffalo haven't been good forever.
I guess that's probably it.
That could potentially be.
Dude,
what it
I
is
had
as
the
well.
the Titans for the first name I wrote down. I almost completed the pass and steal.
On that, the Colts guess, I was either gonna go Colts, Las Vegas, or Tennessee.
Dang, good.
Tennessee would have worked.
I had
Damn.
Tennessee on the list. I had
Vinny,
Falcons. Technically I had Falcons at the top of the list, but Vinny guessed them, so I had to cross them.
Ninja said everyone knows the Raiders. Everyone knows all of these teams. They're NFL teams.
It's 32. All right.
Vinny, you take an early 3-0 lead in this game. And we're going to move on right into our next prompt. You guys ready?
Yep.
Sure.
Here is what I want to know. I want to know the 6 teams with the highest yards per game this season.
JL.
JL buzzing in early. You're
Chiefs.
quick on the buzzer today. Chiefs are number 1, JL. Would you like to pass or play? Because no one else can come in and steal this.
I'll play this one.
We're going to play this one? Okay.
Yeah. So how many am I guessing?
6.
6. And Chiefs are number 1. Let's go with Buffalo.
Number 2.
Good guess.
Number two. Okay. And this is yards per what again?
Yards per game.
Yards per game. Okay. Let's go with Miami Dolphins.
The Miami Dolphins are number 4. No, number 5 on this list, JL.
Lying.
So you got it.
Okay. Miami.
You've got 1, 2, and 5 now.
Let's go with the Bengals.
The Bengals are not in the top 6, JL. They are number 10 on this list.
I would have guessed the Bengals. That's weird.
Yeah.
So that's one bonk. Let's go with the Eagles.
Bonk
The
them
Eagles.
again.
The Eagles are number 3 on this list, JL.
Hmm.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Good job.
Where do I want to go here? Let's
You've
go
got
with
one bonk.
one single bonk.
Just a measly bonk.
Let's go with the Vikings.
The Vikings are not on this list.
Wow.
They're down a bit. They're number 14, JL.
What? I would have 2 bonks right now.
They're 13, actually.
13. Okay. All right.
Nick said bonk in the chat.
Bonk. Yeah, I deserve that one. Ooh, I don't know if I want to. All right, let's go with the.
You got 2 bonks.
This is dumb. I can't do this. I kind of want to do it.
Do it.
Let's go with the Lions.
Do it.
The Lions are number 4 on this
Oh,
list.
wow.
The Lions are absolutely correct.
Nice.
So we're just missing number 6 now, JL.
Oh, this is so much pressure.
No pressure.
You got this, dude.
Oh, I feel like this is a mistake, but I'm going to go 49ers.
The 49ers are not on this list.
Me.
They are number 7. They are 1 outside of the range, JL.
You got meat bonked.
Meat bonked. Now you
That's a
guys
third
can
strike,
steal all
which
of my
means-
points.
So does it go to me or Vinny?
I've got the order written down right here, so let me just check. It goes to you first and then Vinny.
Cowboys.
Cowboys are not on this list.
Oh.
The Cowboys are sitting at 9 down here. So,
Dang it.
Vinny, get this right. You're stealing all these points.
No.
Oh boy, I think I have a sleeper pick. I think it's the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh,
The Los Angeles Chargers is incorrect. It is Jacksonville Jaguars
I almost
at
guessed them.
number
The
6.
Jaguars again.
The
I-
Jaguars.
I was this close to guessing them. Oh my god! I decided to go
Jacksonville.
stupid chalk 49ers.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow.
Dale, that is going to get you 5 points.
Good
Put
job,
you
Jail.
Ever so slightly in front
Good
of
job.
Vinny. And we got time for one more. You guys want to run more in there?
Yeah.
We got time for one more right here. And here
Well, actually,
is-
it's up to Vinny. You good with one more?
Yeah,
Vinny?
let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, holidays. Vinny's out. Let's go.
Coop's
baby.
like, yeah, Vinny's
Let's
in.
do it. We gotta redeem ourselves here.
Yeah.
So
here's your last one. The 6 tight ends with the most receiving
Coop.
touchdowns this. Okay, Coop.
I'm gonna go with Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce is number 1 on this list with 12 of them.
That's pretty good. I'm gonna play, but this one's hard.
You're gonna play?
Is this top 6 again?
Top 6.
Top 6 in receiving touchdowns.
Yeah. Receiving touchdowns. Yeah, specifically receiving touchdowns.
Yep. Okay. Let me get a little bit of Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram, I'm sorry, is number 7 on this list, Coop.
Okay. Let's see. Who scored most of their points based on touchdowns?
Actually, Coop,
Mhm.
it was top 5, and I lied to you. I have the top 5 pulled in here. It was supposed to be top 5, not top 6. So Evan Ingram would have counted if it was top 6. So I'm not going to give you the point, but I'm not going to give you the bonk either, is how we're going to play that. Okay.
Wow.
Because I made a mistake in how I said it right there.
Well, I appreciate you, even though I definitely don't deserve that, but I will take it. Let me get
Possession arrow, Vinny.
Possession arrow definitely towards Vinny. Let me get Mr. George Kittle.
George Kittle's number 3 on this list.
Georgie. And let me get here's a little sneaky boy, but I think he might be in there as well. Juwan Johnson.
Juwan Johnson is number 2 on this list, Coop. He has
Maybe
the
not
second.
not as sneaky as I thought. He's actually
He's just like almost the leader in this category.
Yeah, because all that boy do is score. Right?
7 touchdowns. 7 on the season.
Yeah, dude. He scored 2 last week.
On how many receptions?
He ran 13
7.
routes. Dude, there is a player who has stats like that, career stats like that. He has 10 receptions, 10 touchdowns.
What? Yeah. What is? I'm gonna look this up after the game. Is Juwan Johnson's touchdown rate?
Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel has 10 receptions, 10 touchdowns.
That's a fun Mike Vrabel fact.
Yeah.
Coop, what's your next guess here?
That's why he's the coach.
I was just
I
stalling.
got the job.
I was stalling with Vrabel facts. Let me get Tommy Schlockenstein.
Tommy Schlockenstein.
TJ Hawkinson
Is not on this list.
Okay.
He's tied with Evan Ingram at the 6th spot on this list.
Like, how many? The heck is that?
I had no idea who you were talking about.
How many touchdowns? How many touchdowns?
Tommy.
Schlockenstein has 4.
This is his real name is Tommy.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Tommy.
TJ.
Tommy's his first name. TJ is short for Tommy something. Tommy James.
Tommy Jami.
Tommy Jami.
Tommy Jami.
His real name is Tommy Jammies.
Okay, cool. What's your next guess? You got 1 bonk here for Tommy Schlockenstein.
Yeah, I got bonked right in my Schlockenstein. Let me go with. I'm not gonna be able to get these. I don't think. Oh,
I'm gonna bonk you if you take too long.
Don't you bonk me? Let me go with Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz is not on this list, Coop. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And he missed a lot.
2 bonks.
He missed a lot, but still, how many bonks have I? I have 2 bonks.
2 bonks.
Okay.
And 2 names left on the list.
Is Gerald Everett on the list?
Gerald Everett, Coop. He's not on the list, which means Vinny. If you get one of these 2, you will win Fantasy Feud today. Otherwise, JL's going to have the opportunity. JL will win and have the opportunity to put some icing on the cake.
I immediately thought of all the names on the list.
Number 4 and
I've
number
got
5.
2 in my head. But I think I'm going to go because I feel like he scored a lot before he got hurt. He was on my team. Oh, man. It's between 2 guys because one guy hasn't scored in several weeks. I'm going to say Zach Ertz is still on the list.
Zach Ertz I'm sorry, Vinny is not on the list, but he is close. That was a great guess. He's tied with Dawson Knox and Evan Ingram and TJ Hawkinson right there in that range.
Dang.
Oh, man, I think we left it on a T here.
JL, Joe, you're going to win, but there are 2 players left.
I'm going to go chalk because I can't think of anyone else. Mark Andrews.
Yeah, he got enough early on.
And the chalk play was the right play, JL. Mark Andrews, number 4 on the list.
I know the last one.
5.
I know the last one. I know the last one. It's Cole Kmet.
It's Cole Kmet tied with Mark Andrews. JL, you're going to pull that victory out today. Nice job, my friend.
Thank you.
Vinny,
Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us this Friday and every Friday, my friend.
Yeah, it was fun. A lot of fun. And enjoy your holiday. And enjoy the games, hopefully.
Yes.
Same.
That's all I can say. There's not much else.
Happy holidays, Vinny.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that jazz.
Thanks for joining us, brother.
Guys, go and follow Vinny on Twitter. He's on Twitter at Vinnie Iyer. That is VINNIEIYER. And check out his work over at Sporting News. The link is in his bio. Vinny, we'll see you next week. And thanks so much for taking the time again, my friend.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one. We had someone in the chat asking JL, since you seem to be so confused about Tommy being TJ's first name, is your real name JL? Just the letters?
Great question. Great question. No, it is actually Jontavius Liverstone.
Of course. Yeah. As we all know, Jontavius Liverstone Garofalo, the 4th. It's a family name.
It is.
You're going to pass it on? You're going to make a 5th, or are you starting the line over with a new name?
Oh, I'm definitely naming my daughter Jontavius Liverstone the 5th.
Jontavius Liverstone the 5th.
And then to the 5th.
Also, Tommy said, what a coincidence. His middle name is Jami, too. Tommy Jami.
Wow. Tommy Jami.
Thomas James.
Tommy Jami Hawkinson.
Tommy Jami Hawkinson.
I prefer Jami, so that's what we're going with right there.
I see Maria in the chat. Said, good morning. Good morning, Maria. Sorry, I have my chat closed. Now I'm catching up with everything. And Jordan Vanek in here, good buddy, said, is this the Evan Ingram safe?
Oh,
come to the right place, my friend.
This is Evan Ingram, a celebration.
In fact, we don't allow Evan Ingram slander in the chat. It is a bannable offense to put Evan Ingram slander in the chat.
Boot you into orbit. Yep. 100%. And Maria almost getting it right. She said, I've heard it's Jatavius Liverstone. A lot of people mix that up. I get Jatavius a lot.
Timeout. Let me call a timeout here. I just realized that
okay, timeout.
I'm out of timeouts actually, so
I just called it for you. Timeout.
Thank you. 2 minute. Can I get a 2 minute warning? We have the 2 minute.
No clock management. No clock.
So, dude, I just realized something. That TJ Hawkinson's name is Thomas Hawkinson, right? Which means he could have gone by Tommy Hawkinson.
Thomas.
He could have Simon, you just got it. The nickname
as you said it came out.
Tomahawk.
He could have had the nickname Tomahawk if he just went by Thomas, dude. But instead he's TJ, and we got to call him Tej.
Tej Hawkinson.
Tomahawk is such a great nickname. What the hell is going on?
Especially for a tight end. I feel like it just works for a tight end.
Oh, we are so making this a thing.
I refuse. I'm gonna start calling him Tommy. Like, we got to get the Tommy out there first. You know what I mean? People need to recognize that his name is Tommy, and then we can get the tomahawk rolling. Or maybe I'm adding too many steps and complicating this.
Does that mean
I think so. First, we spread the Tommy info.
I've been calling him
2 months. We come back with the nickname.
I've been calling him Tommy Schlockenstein for a couple weeks. Does that count?
Considering neither of us recognized it. No, I don't think so.
You said that, and I was about to just say wrong because I didn't know who it was, but I was pretty sure it wasn't on the list.
If he's not going to be Tomahawk, he should have at least had the most tight end name of all time and been Brock Hawkinson.
Brock
Hawkinson, dude.
With the Tommy said he's changing his last name today. Craig also coming in and said, I'm sure you talked about it, but I trusted Coop on playing Ingram last night over Taysom. Looking great so far.
We did it. Taysom Hill stinks.
Taysom
100 yards, no problem for Evan Ingram. He gets 100-yard games in his sleep and in the freezing rain.
Dude, he cooked Sauce Gardner.
Oh my God! Did you see that one play where he burst off the line and just completely caught Sauce Gardner on his back, like back of his feet?
Christmas.
That was pretty incredible.
Granny's gonna be upset for Christmas because the sauce got burnt.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, you're a moron.
Strong Style Ninja. You know what? Upgrading the name even a little bit. Tommy Hawk. You can just throw that Y in there. Then you just use his full name, Tommy Hawk.
That's what I'm saying. What are you doing? And then said he's TJ.
Let's write him a letter and say, excuse me, sir, you picked the wrong name to go by. You should switch it and go by the other one.
He'd be like, here's the deal, son. He would definitely respond to that like you were back. He would write you back like you were 10. Especially when he saw my handwriting, he'd be like, oh, this kid's 10 years old.
Dear Coop. Thanks for
Coop's
being
a
a
dumb
fan.
name. Bye.
But thanks for being a fan. Here's my autograph.
You should go by Cooper, not just Coop. As
and
my
then he signs it
opinion.
just TJ.
Not doing that. Sincerely, TJ.
He signs it TJ, but he includes a picture of a tomahawk just to like give you a nod. Like, I recognize it's cool, but shut up. I've gone by TJ for 25 years.
Strong Style Ninja saying Evan Ingram will be a top 5 tight end next year. Let me check. He's a top 5 tight end this year. Let's go.
You got that information on your watch?
Yeah, it's Casio. It's got everything on it.
Casio.
You can change the channel. I can tell you Evan Ingram's stats, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Tommy
20
Hawk.
$20
in the chat now.
$20 it'll outlive us all.
Tommy goes and changes his name in the chat immediately.
Tommy Hawk. How'd you do that, dude? I'm changing my
Pro
name.
skater.
Tommy Hawk.
Tommy Hawk.
It's Tony Hawk's brother who just lived in his
Tommy
shadow all the
Hawk.
time. He's like, I got the cool name. Why the hell is
Archie
he the
Manning.
pro skateboarder?
He looks just like him too, and people are just like, "Hey, do a kickflip." He's like, "Ugh,
I can't.
I can do your
He
taxes.
can only ollie, and he falls
I
like
can do
60% of the
I can do your taxes, right?
I can do your taxes.
Right?
Guys, coming up, we're going to do a sodas bracket, a bracket of the best sodas, and then we're going to jump into some weekly predictions for this weekend's games. Right now, you're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
My holiday wish list is for Travis Etienne to finish as the RB1 rest of season.
That injury's got to be nothing, and Josh Jacobs needs to be a top 3 running back down the stretch.
I need the Broncos to finish with a better record than the Raiders. Otherwise, I need to eat a tomato live on camera like it's an apple.
I want to win my home league. I've only won it once over the last whatever it is 6 or 7 years, and these are all of my buddies from high school and college, and they love to harass me when they beat me. Ooh, fantasy expert, you can't win our league.
For this holiday season, I'd like to be in the winning margin. I'd like to be on the winning side of side totals and props. I think that's really why we're in the business.
So Jamar Chase is coming back from the hip issue. Let's hope he performs like that wide receiver 1 and leads me to the championship. I need you, Jamar. Come on, let's go.
I am the sucker that still owns Russell Wilson in a 2 QB league. Here's all I ask. And it's like a lot of Christmas wishes. It's kind of a long shot. You don't expect it. It wouldn't be something you wake up and say it's going to happen. But Russell Wilson, I only need like 80% of your career norm.
I need the Falcons to run the table so I can win my Arthur Smith as Coach of the Year bet, which is not looking amazing right now, but you never know.
Dallas Cowboy World Championship future cashes in 2023.
ETN is a guy that I really need to thrive here in the fantasy playoffs to win a couple of championships.
Need Zonovan Knight, even if Michael Carter's there, to be the beast running back that he can be for the remainder of the year for me to have any shot at winning a title this year.
I need Najee Harris to get healthy. I'm over-invested in Najee Harris.
As excited I am about my fantasy teams, I'm even more excited about the Dallas Cowboys right now.
I need Rachaad White to keep doing what he's doing and keep Leonard Fournette on the bench.
I hope it's Mahomes and Kelsey getting all the targets there. That's my wish.
Please allow me to win at least one of those big money leagues.
Well, my holiday wish is for Lamar Jackson to get healthy. I'm in first place in one of my fantasy leagues, and he's my quarterback. So without him, I could be in trouble.
I have a lot invested in the Philadelphia Eagles. I just need them not to rest my fantasy players week 17.
Yeah, my number one wish for fantasy football this year is that Ramondre Stevenson keeps being a dog out there.
Big money league I have that I absolutely want to win. So I need my guy CeeDee Lamb, and I'm a Niner fan.
Welcome back in, everyone, to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. We are about to get into the ever so important sodas bracket. Before we do that, though, I know we got a birthday in the chat. PJC, our friend Pat, it is his birthday today. Coop, I'm sorry, but he is the biggest Patriots fan I know, even more so than you. And so let's wish a happy birthday to Pat. If you see Pat today, hug a Patriots fan for Pat today.
Happy birthday, brother.
Pat.
Go Pats.
Go Pats.
Pat the Pats
That works
fan.
in multiple ways.
Yeah, big day for the Pats. Pats around the world.
And Tommy said, wow, 2 days away from Jesus. Wow, incredible.
2 days away from Jesus. Pat was, I think, one of the OG FYF fans. Was in here in those like original streams. Yeah.
The rough days.
The rough days.
Strong Style Ninja. It's a Coop with the Casio watch calculator. That was the original smartwatch. I'm not sure if you've seen those, but they're basically just like gigantic versions of this
we've
watch.
seen those.
Those are clean, bro.
Those are the hot-ish back in the day.
Get a gold one of those, boy.
They're coming back.
Math on the fly.
They're coming back. The like chunky analog style, like in like clothing and in watches and all that stuff is coming back, man.
Yeah. My wife won't let me wear that.
It started with shoes and it's bleeding into watches and stuff now.
My wife won't let me wear that, dude, because you can't keep the ladies off you when you have a Casio calculator watch.
Yeah,
that's how you met, right?
You would just be fighting people off all the time. It would be exhausting, honestly.
It's a secret weapon. Yeah, it's how we met. And then she said, I loved it. It's how I fell in love with you, but you can only wear it at home.
Because we're going to jump into this soda bracket here. We had to go a little bit generic with some of these. There's 8 teams in this bracket, but here is what we've got for the 8 sodas we're going to be doing. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, Sprite, Fanta, ginger ale, and root beer.
I'm nervous for my
Those
boys.
Are our 8 sodas in there. We are going to vote on these matchups head to head, one by one, advancing a soda to the next round until we're left with one soda champion, one soda to rule them all, the king of all sodas. Craig said, I don't drink soda. It is gross. No one wins.
All right, Craig.
Well, Craig, I wish I thought that because soda is my number one. I have no willpower. If there is soda nearby, I will chug it. If I'm at a restaurant, I'm getting 8 refills. If there's a 12-pack in the fridge, it's gone before tomorrow. Like, I love it. I just can't keep it around because it's my favorite.
Man, Craig sounds like the Grinch.
It's sugar and bubbles.
You forget how good soda is. Like if you're somebody that like gets a beer when you go out to dinner, try reverting back to getting a soda, and it tastes amazing. It's like
so refreshing.
Yeah, that's the thing about beer is that even the best beer, it doesn't taste.
Taste as good.
It doesn't taste good as a Coca-Cola. You know what I mean?
Here's the pro move at a restaurant. You can order both. I do it all the time. I'll get a beer and a Sprite.
Dude, I do that same thing, except for instead of the Sprite, I get a bourbon. And instead of the beer, I get another bourbon.
Sorry, John-Luc, you were saying something?
I don't remember what it was.
Nick and you saying Cactus Cooler is underrated. Cactus Cooler is not on this bracket. So, but Coke is king. And let's
just
jump
remembered.
into what was it?
It was that I decided not to really order beer at restaurants anymore. Like drinks, like most of the time it's just tastes not as good. And I'm just like spending a bunch of money for what? Just to like socially drink.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you. Like nowadays, I feel like if I'm gonna be drinking, I gotta be drinking. You know what I mean? Like put it this way, like if you're just going out and you're just gonna come back home after and not have another beer or whatever,
like a dinner, dinner or lunch.
But like jail, let's say you're getting dinner before you go into a Celtics game or where
of
you
course
live.
I'm fine drinking then. Yeah, if I'm drinking, then I'll drink. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Then you're part. It's part
just
of
like drinking for no reason. I just found myself ordering drinks, paying more money, and liking it less than I needed.
That. I
feel you get a little bit of acid reflux, and maybe you had 2 beers, and so you're just a little sleepy. Hey,
yeah,
I said reflex. Let's just move on. It happens. Okay?
Acid reflexes.
You know it's wrong. I know it's wrong.
My stomach. Ow, my stomach.
Honestly, sounds like a great superpower.
What?
As it comes out of your mouth.
A baby's falling from a tower. You're like, somebody quick, give me an IPA.
Guys, let's hit our first matchup here, and it's a battle of the heavyweights. We've got Coca-Cola versus Pepsi.
Why was that baby on top of the tower?
That's where they lived. There was an apartment, and the baby didn't live in it. They lived on
Baby
top of the
penthouse.
apartment. Yeah. Sometimes babies live in penthouses. Sometimes ducks live in penthouses. Have you ever been to the Peabody Hotel?
It's the cast
No.
of Baby.
You ever
the
seen
cast-
Look Who's Talking?
No. Wait, maybe?
It's the one where they have normal voices or normal overlaid voices to babies as if they're geniuses.
I definitely have seen Look Who's Talking.
Isn't that called Baby Geniuses?
I think
think
there's
there's-
another concept. Yeah, another movie, same concept.
Dude, do yourself a favor and look up the Rotten Tomatoes reviews for Baby Geniuses 2. They
Top
are,
tier.
dude. The one of them is just
Stupid
one
afraid.
word. Just one word. It just says excruciating.
We should do babies anthropomorphized as adults bracket.
Bracket, yeah.
Boss Baby. Are animated
Boss
movies
Baby.
allowed?
Well, I think our range is probably limited. So yeah, I think so.
I think we're gonna have to.
Yeah, I
include
think we're
them.
gonna have to fill out the bracket.
Rugrats, does that count? Because they're talking and running around.
Absolutely.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Well, now we don't have to do the bracket anymore because that's how that would win.
Yeah, so maybe we keep Rugrats out. We'll stick to movies because Rugrats would just run away with it.
Rugrats
for sure.
is the goat, dude.
Our first
We're not doing
matchup-
that. Yeah, guys, we're not doing that bracket. By the way,
I'm going to take the first vote. And you know what? It's going to be no surprise. I grew up in the Atlanta area. They always say, like in the South, it's not even called pop or soda. Specifically around Atlanta, all soda is just referred to as specifically your acid reflux in Atlanta. Specifically, your acid reflux in Atlanta is always called just Coke. And so Coca-Cola is king where I grew up. Pepsi just tastes like off-brand Coke to me. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I grew up drinking Coke, and it's going to be Coca-Cola for me here. Not even close. JL, where are you voting?
I did not grow up in Atlanta, but I also drank Coke. So I'm gonna also go Coke here. It's clearly the winner over Pepsi. Who chooses Pepsi over Coke?
There's some Pepsi truthers. My Cleveland side of the family. There's some Pepsi lovers up there.
to be honest, dude, I've never really done like the blind taste test. There's a very real possibility that I could like Pepsi better than Coke.
I feel like you'd be able to tell immediately that this is Pepsi. This is
But
Coke.
here's the real thing, and it also, much like Simon and much like JL, it involves where I grew up. And I grew up in a town called North Attleboro. Go Red Rocketeers. And then there was another town, Attleboro, that at some point we split away from them. North Attleboro versus Attleboro. Attleboro. David Attenborough. I grew up in North Attenborough, Tyler Egby. And they okay, let me just get back to what I was saying. I grew up in North Attleboro, and the other town is Attleboro. Every Thanksgiving we would play. It would be the Red Rocketeers against the Blue Bombardiers. So for me personally, being a Red man,
you grew up in a cartoon.
Growing up, let's go Red.
It was the Bombardiers versus the North Wesketeers.
Yeah, I would go to my doctor, Dr. Feelgoodson. The whole thing's totally made up, just completely made up cartoon world. Yeah, maybe I am a clone. But either way, my clone upbringing has me on the Red allegiance. So I am picking Coca-Cola. I would always pick the red one because Blue Bombardiers stink.
Coca-Cola moving on. Joey in the chat saying Coke greater than Pepsi, but Diet Pepsi greater than Diet Coke. What's up, Joey? Welcome in. And we got Squirrel Bob in the chat saying, listen, I grew up on Coke till I did the blind taste test and I liked Pepsi better. Switch to Pepsi. We're sticking with Coke. Sorry, we knocked your favorite soda out in the first round. Coca-Cola.
I'm going to do it.
On
the Red Rocketeers sound like a football team Airbud played on. we were, and our song was, we would play Rocket Man by Elton John before the games.
Oh, of course you would.
Bags last night, pre-flight.
That's a song that I refuse to learn the words to, but I sing along to every time.
Yeah,
like
against your will.
What's your move? Is it just the humming?
No, you just go for it. Like the words, like everyone knows about 40 to 55% of the words of Rocket Man. Whether you think you do or not, I guarantee you do. So you can just sing and you'll get a lot of the words right. You just got to be fine getting a bunch of them wrong as well.
He's just out there at karaoke. It's my wife.
It's Coca-Cola moving on to our semifinals, and they're going to face the winner of our next matchup, Dr. Pepper versus Mountain Dew. Jail, you've got the first vote here. Oh, you want to go first, Coop?
I got something to say here. the seeding of this bracket, pretty wild. This one is clearly not a seeded bracket 1 through 8.
It's more
the
like
matchups.
It's actually based on sales in the U.S., so it is completely seeded.
It is seeded. Okay, wow, that's excellent. Then I
Pepsi's
respect
number 8, the number 8 best-selling soda in the U.S.
Well, I left some out because
Gotcha.
yes, for like just the sake of the bracket, because some were like too similar, like 7-Up and Sprite. Like it's not super interesting.
Okay. Well, then I fully respect the methodology then and how we got to this point. I'm looking at some of these, and this is kind of a to me personally, this is kind of a David this is the big one. This is like a huge matchup for me. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Jail, you're up here.
Okay. Thank you.
The matchup of the century.
It is, dude.
This is the big.
It is like David versus Goliath. This is just Goliath versus Goliath.
I don't know where to go here because I love both these sodas. They're both fantastic. Actually, I do know where I'm going to go. I'm going to go Dr. Pepper. My one issue with Mountain Dew, it's not carbonated enough. It's like slightly too flat. And it would be amazing if it was just a little bit more carbonated. It's already amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disparaging Mountain Dew. But if I was to find one fault in Mountain Dew, it would be that.
Before Coop votes, I just want to ask a question. Does this encompass other flavors of Mountain Dew, or should I be voting solely based on just Mountain Dew?
Solely based off of the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to ask that out there.
This isn't the full MDU, the Mountain Dew universe.
Yeah, not the full MDU. Definitely not the MDU.
No Code Red. No.
Dude, Code Red's fire. No Baja Blast.
No Baja Blast. That's the big one.
I will say so to JL's point, not only just regular Mountain Dew is it not carbonated enough, but it is definitely the one that wherever you go, it tastes different every time. There's a few of those sodas actually. Like if you get it from a
soda fountain Mountain Dew is entirely different than from
totally different
Mountain Dew.
Totally
it's a different soda.
Yeah. But I gotta tell you guys, like I'm a big Mountain Dew guy, big Code Red, Baja Blast fan. But for me, it's Dr. Pepper. I got that Dr. Sweetwater is so goddamn good. I don't want to give anything away here, but it might be my 101. There's some tough matchups out here, but I got to move Dr. P along. So.
One thing I left out during my portion here is the Dr. Pepper commercials really take Dr. Pepper down a peg. And so that's
down
against it.
Down. Those commercials
what's
are
it
amazing.
Called? Fansville?
Little Sweet. Oh, the Fansville ones.
I don't know if I've seen those. They've been doing it for years, and I still don't understand it.
It's like a fake soap opera based around a town that's obsessed with Dr. Pepper and generic football teams.
Yeah, but like they don't do anything with that. That's the whole thing. Like it's just that every commercial.
Little
You're not
Sweet.
the target audience.
The commercials are so
I'm not either, so I don't get it. But you're also not the target audience.
I don't know. I like Dr. Pepper.
Little Sweet was pretty great. So we got two.
I'm the target audience. Made up people from made up towns like mine that love Dr. Pepper. That's us.
So Coop,
yeah, that guy was a Red Rocketeer fan.
Yep, Dr. P.
Dr. P is moving on, and because it's just the original Mountain Dew, my vote's going to Dr. Pepper as well. My favorite thing about Dr. Pepper is I don't know what it tastes like. I'm not sure. You asked me to describe it. It tastes spicy. I don't know, but it's not really spicy. But it's just like
aren't all sodas spicy in that way?
But it's got like just like a different flavor to it. Is it cherry? Is it vanilla? Like, is that sandalwood? Like,
pro tip for all you parents out there. We used to do this with my nephews all the time to get them to like stop asking to drink sodas. Just tell them it's super spicy.
Oh yeah,
works
really?
every time. They buy into it because they don't want the spicy. These kids, they do not want spicy.
It's 23 flavors, bro. It just grabs your taste buds by the haunches and wrestles them into submission.
Dr. Pepper moved on to face off against Coca-Cola in the semifinals. Our next matchup, we've got Sprite versus Fanta. And Coop, you've got the first vote here. This is my Goliath versus Goliath matchup right here. These are some freaking heavyweights facing off right now. Sprite versus Fanta. Where are you going, Coop?
Now I got to clarify with this one as well. With Fanta, do you get all the Fantas, or are we just talking the orange one?
Because you're just getting the orange one again. That's going to be the case for all.
It didn't say orange in there, so I could have also assumed grape or
that's fine.
Yellow.
Yeah, but it's just.
But I think orange when I think Fanta. Like that's you
makes
don't
it
think
less of a Goliath versus Goliath, but still Goliath versus Goliath.
Okay, so orange Fanta, I have to be in a very specific mood for it, but it's a good drink. It's a good drink. With Sprite also falls in that category of Sprite out of the fountain, out of the what is it again?
Soda fountain.
The soda fountain is totally different than Sprite out of the bottle. Sprite out of the bottle is amazing. Sprite out of the fountain, you don't even know what you're gonna get. Sometimes I think it's just like
Freaking
ocean water.
water.
Ocean water they put in there.
Oh,
yeah.
I was going the opposite way. Sprite out of the soda fountain, like a McDonald's Sprite, is like the best Sprite in the entire world. Is
Nah,
McDonald's
dude.
Sprite?
Out of a 20-ounce bottle. That's pure Sprite. Like Kobe would drink. Rest in peace. So, you know,
Vote Kobe in our sodas bracket.
I mean, that's really the difference maker for me. Honestly, these are so close, but I just think what would Kobe drink? And for me, I got to go Sprite.
One vote for Sprite. Man, this one is tough. Sprite is one of those drinks where, like, for a long time, I don't know, it was like somehow it's got the reputation as like the kids soda. Know what I mean? It's probably because it's uncaffeinated, but I feel like Sprite is like viewed as like the soda for kids. If you haven't had one in a while, like if you viewed it as the kids soda, go have a Sprite. It is so refreshing. It is like the most refreshing soda.
The kid soda.
Now with orange soda is the only soda that I quote semi-regularly with "Who loves orange soda?"
Kel loves orange soda.
Kel loves orange soda from Keenan and Kel. You didn't watch Keenan and Kel growing up, JL?
I did. I just didn't remember that bit.
do. Everybody out there, go run and tell your homeboys and homegirls, top Keenan and Kel, to keep you laughing in the afternoon. So don't touch that dial or leave the room.
That was impressive that you just pulled that out of nowhere.
Rest in peace,
orange
Coolio.
soda- Man, just over and over again on this bracket, Coop. It's the shout-outs bracket. I'm voting orange soda here. Coop, you're right that it requires a specific mood, but nothing quite hits the same as an orange soda whenever you're in that specific mood for one. And I feel like there's a uniqueness to it. Know what I mean? Like orange soda is like very unique flavor profile. I eat a lot of lemon lime flavored things, lime on a lot of my food, not many orange flavored things. And talk about carbonation. Fanta is really carbonated. They knock it out of the park with the carbonation level. John Luke, orange Fanta or Sprite? It is 1-1. You're the deciding vote.
I am. Now, speaking of commercials, Sprite does have that Drake commercial from back in the day working in their favor. That was a fantastic commercial.
Drizzy.
First name greatest. That one, you know, and he breaks into like speakers and Sprites coming out of his cracks. It's amazing.
I hate when that happens.
Drake's at his best. Drake's at his best when he's not rapping, but when he's on TV being made fun of or making fun of himself. Like I enjoy Drake in that.
But
really, well, I mean, I like it. I like some of his raps too. Like I like the ones that have the time in them. But anyway, it's your turn.
The Sprite unfortunately falls into the same trap that Mountain Dew does, which is that not enough carbonation. Sometimes it just tastes like syrup water, which is very off-putting. It tastes like a flat soda. I got to go Orange Fanta. Orange Fanta,
Woo!
I feel like they changed the entire game of sodas. They just came in with this entirely new genre and just knocked it out of the park. It's fantastic. Simon, you're absolutely right with the carbonation. They nail it every time. Soda, fountain, soda,
that's a big upset.
Bottle, doesn't matter.
Squirrel Bob said, "Smart man, JL, smart man." And then great show. I appreciated Squirrel Bob during the soda bracket coming in. This is my stuff.
JL living up to his title as the
Jontavious Liverstone.
Jontavious Liverstone as the caretaker of the underdog. I think that Sprite was definitely the powerhouse here, but I respect the Fanta pick.
We just knocked LeBron James and Drake out of this bracket with that vote.
Yeah, we did. Pat in here said, "Great. The great Fantas are so good." Yeah, he's right. Right about that. And he said, "It's amazing how the wrong amount of carbonation makes such a difference." Their birthday boy is correct. It's correct.
I want so much carbonation that it hurts a little bit. Like that's what I want. That's the level of carbonation I crave.
Drake is the Sprite of soda, though. Like everyone kind of likes him,
is the Sprite of soda.
Nobody's favorite. Vince Staples, dude.
Vince Staples is like the Sprite hype man. He just like loves Sprite, and then he got to deal with Sprite. So now he's definitely the Sprite hype man.
Are you a big Vince Staples guy?
I like Vince Staples. It's good.
Yeah, I like him too. I think he's solid.
And Craig said, "Jail's title of terrible food drink takes lives on." Somewhere Jay is smiling.
That's the guy who says, "I don't drink soda."
No soda.
But if I did,
give me seltzer.
If I did.
Yeah.
And Charles said, "It's amazing how Crown Royal makes any soda delicious."
Crown Royal, so much more.
I'm trying to think of like Crown Royal Mellow Yellow.
Ooh.
Crown Royal Fresca.
Is Fresca soda?
Fresca's the worst soda ever made.
I'll get
I
a
don't
Crown
know
and
if I
Fresca.
would ever consider it
That's
Crown and Fresca.
I'll take a Crown and Fresca, and the guy next to you is like, this guy
Hello.
check this guy's ID.
You, sir, a man I want to meet.
That's the double marquee. That's what
The
the double marquise
marquee.
is.
Yeah,
That's
double
what we're talking about.
marquise
The
is
double
what it
marquise is a Crown and Fresca.
Guys, our last first round matchup, we've got ginger ale versus root beer. And it's back to me. I've got the first vote here. And this one is easy peasy. So easy. There hasn't been an easier matchup yet. I don't like root beer. Like, I'll drink it if it gets put in front of me. Like, I'm not going to turn down a root beer, but I will never seek a root beer out. It's not refreshing like other sodas. And I've had really bad root beers. I feel like ginger ale, even a bad ginger ale, is a good ginger ale. Like, it's still good. You can give me the crappiest Walmart brand ginger ale, and it's still going to be good. But a bad root beer is disgusting. It is just terrible. It tastes like chemicals and shoes, and it's not good. Ginger ale is my vote. And ginger ale has the unfair advantage of being the soda that makes you feel better when you're sick. Like, when you're sick, you go to the store and you get some ginger ale. That's what you do every single time, and it helps. It fixes it. I love ginger ale, and a spicy ginger ale. Like, that's my favorite. Like, get one of the like extra spicy ones that like burns a little bit on the way in. It's, oh man, I might be talking myself into this being my favorite soda on the bracket. John Luke, where's your vote going?
So anybody that knows me knows that it's no secret. Ginger ale is my favorite soda of all time. It's my 101.
I think you're right.
It's and Simon, you nailed it with the sick part of it. There's no other soda that gets that type of boost, where in that situation, it's okay to just take off the training wheels, take off your suit, put on your sweatpants, grab a ginger ale. You're going to feel better. Everything's going to be okay. Throw on Netflix.
I can picture a young JL at home pretending he's sick, just chugging ginger ale, watching the spelling bee.
Watching Fresh. 100%. I watched that when I was homesick a lot.
Okay.
JL has been pushing the ginger ale train for years. I remember I visited him and he was like, hey, I've only got like 2 left, but I have the best ginger ale in the world in my fridge. It's called Northern Neck Ginger Ale. They only make it in Virginia. One time I bought 45 cases at a gas station.
7-Eleven, yeah.
You like went
they
to a 7-Eleven
like
and bought every case of Northern Neck ginger ale that you could find at that gas station. And you let me have one. And you know what? You're not wrong. That was one of the greatest gingers. But you've been pushing this ginger ale train for years now, JL.
Great. I've never heard on it. I've never heard of Northern Neck. Great packaging. Phenomenal.
Yeah, they
right?
owned by Coke, but they discontinued the line. It's no longer available, sadly.
Dang.
Yeah.
So okay, of
fantastic.
the widely available ginger ales, JL, since you're such a ginger ale connoisseur, before I answer my question here, which ginger ale of the regularly available ones do you think is the best?
Canada Dry is the best. Seagram's is too flat. It's a carbonation issue again. Is you get like syrupy water, basically. It's just kind of like not very good ginger ale. And then Vernon's, things like that. Northern Neck was so good because they nailed the like extra ginger, but not too much. And most of the ginger ale companies that go in the ginger route, like more heavy on the ginger than like Canada Dry, they go too deep into it and it ends up tasting like a ginger beer.
Oh, I like my favorite is the Main Root ginger brew, like the extra spicy version. It is hot. It burns a little on the way down. It's my favorite one. But Joe, you're not for casual drinking. Like that's like a treat. Like I can't have 2 of those in a row. I could chug 12 Canada Dries.
Maria says raspberry and ginger ale, family tradition for medicine. Hard to find. Are you a raspberry ginger ale man, or are you a purist?
No, I'll totally drink that raspberry ginger ale. It's very good. It's basically like ginger ale with grenadine. Imagine.
Let me get this straight. You're the ginger ale man, and your fiance comes from a family with a history of raspberry ginger ale in her family line.
Yeah.
Is that the reason?
Bit of a Romeo and Juliet
stay together.
It might be. It also, I guess, might be getting a little too tangled up there. It's a lot of crossover. So we'll have to
I like to think that JL's family is strictly ginger ale purist.
Orthodox ginger ale.
And then her family hates. It's like it really is like a Romeo and Juliet, liberal, where the 2 of you guys are okay with both of them, but everybody else is like no.
Yeah. The Capulets and Romeos.
Yeah, we'll have to have Dr. Micro Analysis let us know.
Chime in
if that's true. So before we move on, I know ginger ale is going to move on, but I'll speak up for root beer and vote for root beer. No one's voting for it. Tommy points out root beer floats are amazing. Also, there's a specific root beer that is not only awesome, but when you're a kid and you're you're a kid and you go out with your dad and his friends and they're all drinking beers, there's a special place for a root beer called IBC root beer. Not sure if you guys ever had it, but it comes in the glass bottle. Something about being a kid hanging out with the dads and stuff, and they're all drinking beers and you're drinking out of your IBC root beer bottle. You feel like you fit in a little bit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
That's a good feeling, man.
You cover the label with your hands so nobody sees.
Pull it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you pull out your candy cigarettes.
Your gender reveal cigar bubble gum thing.
Yeah, you're like, did you see me out there on the wall ball court? Had a heck of a day today. Eating a candy cigarette. Yeah,
Got a math test on Monday.
Big math test Monday. But yeah, so I'll speak up for root beer, but ginger ale moves on. So let's carry on with the bracket.
Ginger ale moves on.
60% ginger ale.
I'm glad you spoke up. It is my girlfriend's number one favorite soda, root beer. Like it trumps everything else is root beer for her. So I'm glad I got a vote down there. And Maria said, damn, I thought I was cool with that bottle. Good point, Coop.
The coolest.
Absolutely. Ginger ale surviving, moving on. We've got our first semifinal matchup here. Jill, you've got the first vote. Coca-Cola versus Dr. Pepper. Who's it going to be advancing to the finals?
Oh my God, this is so difficult. In a lot of ways, I feel like Dr. Pepper is Coca-Cola. It's like Coca-Cola's like the cool uncle of the family. Coca-Cola's your dad. Dr. Pepper's your cool, fun uncle that comes in on the weekend. I'm gonna go with.
It's true though. It's exactly right. It's exactly right.
Oh my God, I'm gonna go with Coke. I'm gonna go with the classic.
Coca-Cola is Chris Pratt and Dr. Pepper is Eric Andre, just bowling in, ready to go.
Yeah, a little more eccentric.
Or Eric Paul Rudd is fun. Coke. Like very funny. Just it's Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
It's what you see right there. You're going with Coke, Joe. You're moving Paul Rudd onto the next round.
Yeah.
I'll remember this.
Moving on.
I'll remember this when ginger ale's on the chopping block.
Oh, God. Oh no.
What are you doing, Coop?
Fight voting.
I already said it before. My favorite soda, Dr. Pepper, aka Mr. Sweetwater. 23 flavors we're talking about here. Coca-Cola, how many flavors? One. Just Coke, just cola. Generic cola. You ask for a cola, you just say, hey, bring me out any soda. They bring you Dr. Pepper. They bring you Coke. You just get whatever. You have to be a true man of many tastes, not just one syrupy cola taste. We're talking about 23 elite flavors. That's what a man orders. That's what I'm ordering. That's what I'm taking to my grave with me. It's Dr. P. It's Dr. Sweetness. And I don't care if homeboy from Atlanta here is going to go with the homeboy easy pick because Dr. P is the real winner today. Thank you.
I'm wavering now. I don't know. I'm on the line. Simon, you gotta make a big case.
Did I bring you back?
I was so close already that any nudge would have.
JL's reverted his vote. He's now moved his vote to the last deciding vote.
Yeah.
Simon.
Also, I want to make sure. I see Nick down here saying I love Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd too, man. That was not Paul Rudd shades, bro. And you'll see based on my vote right here. I'm about to vote for Paul Rudd. You can't go against the classic. You talk about, oh, it's just cola flavor. What the hell is cola flavor, Coop? It's not like it's like a weak flavor or a subtle flavor. It's a complex flavor. Cola is. There's citrus. There's vanilla. There's all sorts of different things in there. Coca-Cola, yeah, they don't need to brag about all the different flavors in their soda. It just comes together smoothly. Like the fact that you think it's just one flavor shows you how good of a job they did constructing that recipe because you now recognize that as a flavor. Cola is a flavor that's a mixture of all these other flavors. Like it's iconic. We can't vote against Coke. My vote's going to Coke right here.
Damn,
which, unless JL is changing his vote, Coke is moving
I think
on.
You just solidified my vote for Coke. You just did it. You nailed it. I was really going to switch. I was ready.
Didn't really say much.
Whew. That was a fourth quarter save right
Basically, yeah.
That's all right. I like them both. But I had to say my piece about Dr. Pepper. And to be quite honest with you boys, I don't think I have much more to say about it. So
I basically just said Coke is Apple and Dr. Pepper is Android.
Yeah, you just pretty much turned Dr. Pepper into a Zune. Dr. Pepper, Zune, and Coke is iPod.
Coke is the Johnny Ive.
But yeah, honestly,
get them. LOL.
I said what needed to be said about Dr. Pepper. Everyone understands. Everyone knows. You know, the people that are starting Evan Engram, they drink Dr. Pepper, and the people that have been losing their matchups starting Mark Andrews, well, they're Coca-Cola people. So
Pat in the chat said, "Is Pepsi okay?" Absolutely not.
It's true. It's very true, dude.
Man, Dr. Pepper. Sad that it's getting knocked out here because I do love a good Dr. Pepper.
Scampers goes, is JL the flippy floppiest of soda voters? I think of all the things that have been said, that one might be the most true.
Whichever soda was talked about last, JL's like, that one. That's my favorite soda.
I like that one. Yeah.
I could be sold. Yeah, that should have gone 3 rounds. I should have had a chance to come rebuttal. And JL's like, well, 23 flavors. Yeah.
That would be fun just to do like impassioned debates about things like this. Coop, you've got the first vote here. It is Orange Fanta versus Ginger Ale. Which way are you voting here? Oh,
by the way, the chat chose 62% on the Coca-Cola side of this.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Chat,
all
nice
right.
work.
Dr. Pepper too strong. You're too brave for everyone. Not everyone has that.
Sacrifice.
So coming out of the top portion of the bracket is that's the strong and brave portion. Now we are down in the Fanta and ginger ale neck of the woods. You know, the thing about ginger ale, it's just not, there's nothing that jumps out at you. Like, talk about being brave. Like, this is what you drink when your tummy hurts. It's just like, it's so,
you know, it's just negative.
It's just so there. You know what I mean? It's saltine crackers and ginger ale. I'm going to go here. Let's be honest. I'm just voting against Dr. Pepper because JL voted against Dr. Pepper, so I'm voting against ginger ale.
Just hurt, and you're lashing out. Okay, it's okay.
I'm too hurt. I'm lashing out against JL.
You got to do what you got to do, Coop. If
It's
this is
on
gonna make you
you.
feel better.
On you, Simon, to save him. I'm going to go with Orange Fanta, and I say JL should go next with his vote because we know where it's going to go. It makes it a little more dramatic. Are you guys okay with that?
I'll leave it up to JL. JL, do you want the last vote here? Or do you want to go right now?
I can go right now. It doesn't matter to me. And honestly, this might be anticlimactic, but I love both. I recognize that ginger ale is probably not going to win because it's not the mainstream, it's not the crowd pleaser. So I'm going to go ginger ale here because I love it. And orange soda, it's great. But you can't be drinking orange soda in all situations. It's definitely got a time and place, right? You don't want to be walking into a job interview with orange mouth or orange tongue, and a big old giant like 32-ounce Fanta. You know, it's gonna look bad. But if it's a ginger ale, you just say, "Hey, my tummy hurts. I had to grab a ginger ale real quick." Boom, you got a job. So I'm gonna go ginger ale.
An orange soda is like a statement piece. Know what I mean? Like if you walk in, if you walk in with an orange soda, someone goes, "Ooh, orange soda." Know what I mean? They'll never say that about anything, but you will get that every time you're drinking an orange soda. It is bright. I see Strong Style Ninja down here saying pineapple Fanta. That is the best
so
Fanta.
good.
It is so good.
I've never had it.
You got to get it.
I've never had any pineapple soda, I can safely say.
Oh, I love pineapple soda. The pineapple Doritos is top tier. It is so delicious. Better than the Fanta.
Soda. It's so delicious.
Soda-licious. This one is tough for me. I like both of these, but Joe, you're 100% right. Orange soda, 1 12-ounce can is enough. I'm good after 1 12-ounce can.
Oh, I could drink ginger ale like it's water.
I could drink ginger ale forever. And we're forgetting something here. Joe, your favorite mixed drink as well. One time I was at the bar with JL. Well, one of them. And he walked up to the bartender, or the bartender walked up to us, and we're all ordering drinks. And JL looks at her dead in the eyes and says, "I would like a gingy whisker whale."
Yeah, and you forgot the first part of that story, which is I couldn't decide what to drink, and then I forget when Simon or Tim was like, "Oh, just get a whiskey ginger ale." Okay, I've never had that before. Is it good? Like, yeah, it's fine. And then she walked up, and I fumbled the bag.
Gingy whisker whale, and now every time you try to say whiskey ginger ale, it's going to come out gingy whisker whale first for the rest of your life. And because of that, pushing it over the edge and the versatility of ginger ale. I feel like I've been going a little bit scratch in this bracket, but that's okay. Ginger ale is my vote, and it's going to be moving on to the finals to face off against Coca-Cola in the
Fun fact,
championship.
My first first league that I had that really got me into fantasy. Name of the team was the Gingy Whisker Whales. R.I.P.
The Gingy Whisker Whales. Shout out. I try to order that at bars sometimes just to see if they'll just roll with it, because you can figure out what it is. Know what I mean? But there's like a moment of like, what did you say?
Yeah. Do they like listen to it? They're like, oh yeah, totally. And then they write it. They get back to the bar and they're like, the heck is a Gingy Whisker Whale?
It actually took my brain a couple seconds. After you said it, it just registered me as correct. And I was like, so,
right? It's so close that it just sounds right.
Right.
Here's our next matchup. I think, Coop,
I went first on the last one.
Okay, so I will go first on this one. And Coca-Cola versus ginger ale.
This is the final?
This is the final. I know it's scratch. It is iconic. It is delicious. Coca-Cola is the best soda. Coca-Cola deserves to win this bracket. I don't often go with the scratch choice, especially on food and drink brackets. JL, you get a lot of hate for having the bad food takes, but I feel like mine piss people off just as much. And Coca-Cola is scratch, though. I'm going with the OG, the original, the king of sodas. Coca-Cola is the champion. John Luke, where are you voting? Coke or ginger ale?
I respect that choice. Coke is a fine contestant in this match. I pretty much always get Jack and Cokes whenever I go to a bar now. But I got to go ginger ale.
Because you can't say the other thing?
Because I can't say the other thing, and I got too self-conscious about it. And Jack Coke's really easy to say. I
Captain
don't even
Joke?
like it. I don't even like it. But I
Don't even like it.
Too much anxiety. Yeah, so ginger ale is...
The idea that you just order the soda based on which one's the easiest to order.
Pressures of society. I mean, I've done that before 100%. That's pretty much how I always, that's the only time I end up with a Bud Light in my hand. Just give me a Bud Light.
Just give me a Bud Light.
Bud Light, you have that?
Yeah, despite every bar having pretty much all of the same options, I am always panicked walking up to the bar. As soon as I get up there, I'm like, oh, I'm Jack and Coke.
It's like Simon. It's like Simon at the craps table. You think you're gonna step up, and then you get there, and you're just like, no,
just pure panic.
Panic.
So ginger ale for me. So it's 1-1. Coop. It all comes down to you. Where you going?
And so this one for me, it's tough. These are good sodas. They hold special places in my heart, both of them. I already did my spite pick last round, so there'll be no spite involved in this pick. There'll be no spite involved here. For me, I have to go with America. I have to side. I have to side with our beautiful nation. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And Coca-Cola has traversed the world, dominated the planet, captured the hearts and minds of many. You think about
polar bears.
Polar bears. You think about Christmas. And if I could go back in time, people say, what would you bring with you to blow people's minds? And you're like, oh, I'd bring a computer. I'd bring this or that. Not me. I would bring a Coca-Cola. And I would hand it to some filthy peasant who's been drinking like mud water. And I'd be like, hey, brother, why don't you take a sip of this, bro? That magical, when the magic elixir of Coca-Cola tastes that young mud-covered man's mouth, dude,
When it tastes that man's mouth?
He would taste
when the soda tastes that man's mouth.
When I pour the Coca-Cola into that man's mouth and then lean in and give it a taste.
A nice little kiss on the cheek.
Nice kiss on
his muddy cheek.
It would blow his mind. He would be like, what is this magic, fizzy, sweet elixir? So that's what I'm bringing back with me, and that's what I'm picking to win this bracket.
And
it's
fun fact, that situation will play out exactly the same with any other soda.
PJC,
what the heck is this?
PJC goes, they would probably die. They probably would die.
Introduced.
They probably wouldn't even like it. They would be like, this is a horrible experience.
Yeah, no, most people who don't drink soda growing up tend to not like the taste.
It's hurting my mouth. Like, give them Pop Rocks.
Yeah, this is spicy.
You've poisoned me. I would definitely.
Coop goes back in time and just wants to troll people with foods that they won't like. Pop Rocks, soda. Yeah. What else could you bring back though? Cheese, put it in a can.
SpongeBob gummies.
Murder a man with a warhead. Right? Like sour Skittles. I'd be like, this is terrible. Yeah.
Maria said, now I want a Coke. Thanks, guys. I will be grabbing a Coke from the fridge right after this. Coca-Cola is the winner of our bracket. Shout out Coca-Cola. And Have you guys ever listened to the podcast Everything is Alive?
Nah.
No.
In honor of this bracket, everyone should go listen to episode 1 of the podcast Everything is Alive. The whole concept is they interview inanimate objects and they have comedians play the objects. And so the first episode is an interview with a can of cola about like and it gets like philosophical and about like it's like its existence and its desire to be drinking and what is its utility. And it is one of the most bizarre and interesting podcast episodes you'll ever listen to. There's a pillowcase one, there's a lamppost, but the can of cola is one of the best podcast episodes I've ever listened to.
So
you
would recommend it?
Highly recommend. Like, I'm not kidding. It is truly like it's so unique and well made. You should check it out. Everything is Alive.
Everything is alive. I like it.
Everything is alive.
The chat overwhelmingly chooses Coca-Cola in this one. Charles in here said, tomorrow I'll be watching my fantasy team with a fifth of Bacardi and Coca-Cola.
Man. That sounds like my freshman year.
You
just
couldn't afford Bacardi. Let's be honest.
We drank lots of Bacardi. That was all we drank freshman year was Bacardi.
Mine was Evan Williams Green Label.
If I drank a fifth of Bacardi yesterday, I would show up to Christmas and my presents would literally just be like, just
perfectly wrapped,
a
just
piece
like
of
Martha
newspaper
Stewart level of wrapped.
Not even a fifth. Yeah, the complete opposite. It would just be like a newspaper stapled to the top of it, not even wrapped around the outside.
It's like a hat.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have any fantasy questions as we're approaching the end of the show, throw them in the chat. We'd be more than happy to answer in any and everything you throw our way.
Awesome, man.
You guys got any playoff matchups this week?
I do. And my big one, it's not technically the playoffs, my guillotine league. I'm one of 3 teams remaining. The industry league run by Charts JL.
You have to do something if you win this. I don't know what.
I'm one of 3 teams left. I also have the highest weekly average score by 10 points. And I'm the only person with more than 2 weekly high scores, and I've got 5 of them. Like I'm sitting here, I'm in a great spot, but I just know the rug's going to get ripped out from under me at some point. I got so close. I haven't been this nervous about winning a league in a long time. Like I'm feeling the pressure in this guillotine league now.
I'm gonna text our buddy Matt Walsh from Trophy Smack. We're gonna get you a giant belt if you win that.
Hey, what's it gonna say on it? You did it.
Big wiener.
Big wiener. You didn't get chopped.
Yeah.
Your wiener didn't get chopped. Speaking of text messages, I just got a text message here from
text messages
from Ani Koopy. She said,
"Hey, she hate us still."
Yesterday she did, but today she said, "Please wish my morning buds a Merry Christmas, and I hope Santa brings them all good stuff. Love you guys." And then 7 emojis.
7 emojis. Not describing which ones. Just
I hope
they are football emoji, purple devil horn face emoji, football
smiling
emoji,
or mad.
Smiling one.
Okay.
Football emoji again. Heart eyes emoji, and then the huggy face emoji with like the little rosy
love it.
cheeks.
Ani Coop. Happy holidays to everybody in the chat.
Ani Coop is the queen of Christmas. She
Guys,
overdoes it.
One question before we jump off, a kicker question from Charles wants to know Maher or Carlson this weekend. JL, which way you rolling with these kickers?
Oh, let me pull up the matchups real quick. Or Carlson.
Carlson is playing against Pittsburgh and Maher's playing against Philadelphia.
I'm gonna go with Daniel Carlson. That Las Vegas Raiders pit game is supposed to have a lot of wins.
I always defer to Linda's rankings, Lindellians. She has Brett Maher ranked kicker number 1 this week, so I'm going with her.
Yeah, Maher's a good choice. I'll go Daniel Carlson, but it's very close.
Guys, that is going to be it for us today. We will be back Monday morning from 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. Until then, we are out of here.